try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran's off her medication. She's at work to Safe Haven. Detecting 12, take a check that one out.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 Charlie, take a shot.
Officer still stands for talk? No. Offender in custody? Okay. Anyone else close by 50 result, let me know. First time by. 10-4. Is your victim at the hospital? Someone shot there. Alright, the ET doesn't take pictures. She's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran's off her medication. She's at work to Safe Haven. Detecting 12, take a check that one out.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 Charlie, take a shot.
Officer still stands for talk? No. Offender in custody? Anyone else close by 50 result, let me know.
Good evening, everybody. Gotta love that saxophone. I always do. Always gotta wait for it. It'll always be that way. Thank you all for hopping in. Appreciate you. Was watching Jennifer Coffin Daffer's episode earlier, and wowzer. Now, she brought up a lot of great points. We've brought them up as well. When it comes to the landfill search, we brought up Quentin Simon's case, that unfortunate case. The comparison we showed you from the footage from the news crew. When it came to no hazmat suits, just some rubber gloves, and that's pretty much it. Wasn't even zoned off. In fact, talked to a law enforcement officer that was there that day from that community, and she told me that we had a little conversation about that landfill search. And yeah. Wasn't even zoned off, CJ. I was like, I know, I saw the footage. She brings up a lot of great points, but the one point that really shocked me, that's right, they weren't there very long either. What really shocked me about what she said, she kind of hit on, there was a Court TV episode that came out yesterday, and she kind of brought it up, and then she kind of hit on it again in this episode, about him basically being starved. And I was like, whoa. I heard that last night on Court TV. Double N throwing out misinformation. But yeah, I heard that, and I was like, oh my gosh. Now I seen the plate, and it looked damn good. You know what I'm saying? Texas Roadhouse, shout out. It's really good stuff. But when I seen him eating, I mean, he had a long day, right? This is what I first thought when I seen it, because we all seen it, I at first thought, he was locked into the food. He had a long day. He was out running around doing this and doing this and doing that and doing that. I'm sure he was starving. I'm sure he was hungry. She didn't appear to be very hungry, just some breadsticks, whatever. I've done that as a parent before. Money tight, it's always about them. You know what I'm saying? You all eat, I'll just have some free breadsticks or something. Coming from a parent that had full custody that didn't get any child support from the mom. Yeah, it was a little difficult. Sometimes we had to do that. So I understood, but I was just like, damn, he's hungry or whatever. It's something I never even thought to ask Seth before. But to me, I just took it as, long day. He was out running around a lot, doing this, doing that. He was, you burn a lot of energy doing that stuff. So I want to know what you guys think. I was like, whoa, like I'd have to ask, I don't know, did Seth say that that wasn't normal or something? I don't know. I don't remember him saying that, but we've been working on other cases too in different locations and stuff, and so sometimes I'm not able to see or hear everything. So let me know in chat. Did he say that before? I don't know. It would be something I'd have to ask Seth or Katie or Chris. Was that all three of them? Really, I don't want to ask just one. I'd like to ask all three. Is that normal? You know what I'm saying? Um, she stated Seth told her it wasn't normal. Yeah, I don't remember him saying that. Did he? Because I mean, if it's not, I mean, listen, I took it as they were out running. I mean, listen, we, I was a parent too that was out running around doing this and doing that and had to run and go, 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 and it's 6, 7 o'clock at night, and it's like, all right, we'll stop by here. A little special treat. You know what I'm saying? We'll stop by here and blah 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 blah. I get it. You know, that's why I'm at. Like, they had it was from a private conversation. I'd have to. I don't know. Like, I wonder. Maybe somebody can make a statement or something about it. You know what I'm saying? I would hate to. I would hate to say that like people are starving somebody. Shows a kid look like he. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When we first dug into it, Jason, because I mean, shoot, I think, yeah, I think we were one of the first creators to actually start playing it because we were live when it dropped and we instantly went into it. So, we were digging into it from the very beginning. We were actually there before somebody wanted to show up for a couple days and throw up a drone in the neighborhood and piss everybody off. We were there way before that. We were there before the Cajun Navy. We were there. But it's funny because the Mr. Third Person that wants to throw up a drone and piss off all the neighbors. It was crazy because I remember that day so vivid. Because I was out there with someone from the community, and boy, I tell you what, dude, when he put up that drone on those people, listen, if you fly drones, you already know that's like disrespectful as hell. To even do it in your own neighborhood, it's disrespectful. Take it to a fucking park. Take it to go search the woods, something. You don't do it in people's fucking neighborhoods, and then all of a sudden, dude's like, "Yo, man, my phone's been blowing up. My phone's been blowing up. People are pissed." I was like, "Well, what do you expect? If you're a dumbass, you got marbles in your mouth and you're throwing up a fucking drone. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're gonna piss off people. It's crazy. Get that monster truck freaking drone and go through those pipes. You know what I'm saying? These pipes. Let me show you the picture. These pipes. Get that damn monster truck drone and go throw it in these pipes over here. You know what I mean? Shit. Show up for a couple days. Desk expert. It's unfortunate. You see these videos about people walking dogs for their videos, and they're like, they're not canines in the video. They're not canine handlers. They're not even from here, and they're talking shit about canines and what our canines can do and what canines. There's all these experts out there. And that's like the topic of the last couple shows. There's so many people that are like, quote, experts out there. Now, Coffin Daffer, she's got the creds, you know what I mean? But these other people, it's like, just because you own a couple puppies doesn't mean that you know what the capabilities of canines and handlers are, especially over here. You know what I mean? You got people talking about, could this be trafficking? No, in my personal opinion, I just don't think it's possible. But then you got stuff like this popping up in Hendersonville, yo. Stuff like this is popping up in Hendersonville, and it's not a possibility. It's not a possibility. I want to say shout out to Mr. E. Look at these statistics, y'all. Let me get rid of my face so you can see it. Look at these statistics, okay? Shout out Mr. and Mrs. E. Look at these statistics, okay? You're gonna tell, how can anybody sit there and be a desk expert and tell people that there's absolutely, I mean, anything can happen, but in my personal opinion, I just don't see it being very plausible. What are you talking about? Look at these statistics. What are you talking about? And again, let's go right back to this one right here. How is it not? How is it not when you have so many things popping up in these people's backyards? How can anybody sit there and tell people that this is not possible? Come on now. We were out there searching before Cajun Navy showed up with a boat on a trailer and never took it off. That's why we ended up meeting Busby and Trey. Shout out Narc Divers, Busby True Crime Adventures. That's how we even met. Because after a couple weeks of our team being out there, I said, community, there's places I can't go. There's spots in the water that need checked. If these people ain't gonna get their damn trophy boat off this trailer, can somebody from the community please reach out to somebody that has these capabilities? And please, we'll do whatever. We'll meet them. We'll help them. We'll join up. Da 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 da. And that's what took place. Ain't nobody get no boats out there until Trey and Busby and the whole team got together. What are you talking about? And you got people that are showing up for 4 freaking days in 10 months, pissing off neighbors, acting like they know everything that goes down and how it's supposed to go down and all this other stuff. And it's like, because these people weren't there from the beginning. Maybe because these people weren't out there getting poked and have shit happen and be in high tense situations. Digging into facts, all these different things, mixing it together with footage. Not only documenting, but digging in. Not only having the knowledge of being there, but also having the knowledge of looking into the information too, mixing it together. I'm sorry. And I'll continue to say it like I said it since May. After every day, listen, it's 10 months and 2 days. 10 months and 2 days. And what's been different since the very beginning? Nothing. Nothing's been different since the very beginning. So to sit there and tell people, that this stuff is facts, give me a break. We were there, we were down searching for Riley Strain before the Cajun showed up. That's how we even found out, Sunset. That's how we even found out about Sebastian. We were already down there searching for Riley Strain. And they show up for a couple days. And that the last couple days we're out there searching. CJ, can you go to Hendersonville, Tennessee too? There's a missing child, Sebastian Rogers. And I'm like, does anybody know? I haven't heard of that case before. As soon as we got done with Riley the very next day, boom, Hendersonville, Tennessee, looking for Sebastian. What was the Cajun doing? Driving around in parking lots without getting permission from the business owners, getting kicked out of the parking lots, and just standing there with a boat on a trailer. That's why after 2 freaking weeks of me being out there, because I'm like, look, just because they don't want to search doesn't mean I ain't going to search. That's why we went out there. You can go to the very beginning. Hey, CJ, they called off the search. Well, they didn't call off my search. I'm still going. And we continued to do it. For anybody to sit there and say that for one person to go out searching is not worth anything, it needs to be up to organized teams. You know what? Maybe if it was your missing kid, you would be like, you know what? If there's one person out there searching, it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another person searching some spots that maybe I can't get to. Some bitch. I would hate to see that happen to their child. To sit there and tell people that even one person going out there to search, no, it should be up to organized search. Man, I would hate for it to be your kid. I don't understand how people can put these messages out there and they sit there and they talk to you like they know all of this stuff, and it's like, you don't know jack shit. We've been out there from before any of that shit. We were out there before people were showing up, throwing up shit in the air. We were, making it a spectacle. We were there before it was even cool. We were there, giving 150% effort. And these people sit there and tell you this stuff, all this stuff that I've mentioned, like they know shit. It's one of the most disgusting things is when you hear people just sit there and just spout off the mouth, and they're not even thinking about these victims' families or communities like it's their own. They're not thinking about Sebastian, what if it was my child? Well, that one person that's out there searching in a spot that's not organized, well, shame on them. Well, who the fuck is that as a parent? You have to think about these families, the victims, the communities, like it's you, like it's your child, like it's your sister, like it's your brother, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your grandpa, your cousin, your niece, your nephew. Think about what this whole clickbait shit is just. Think about what you say. Listen, all of this stuff, all the followers and the subs, and this is all temporary, people. This is all temporary. If you truly want to make a difference in these communities, bigger voices, because y'all get noticed before we do. If y'all truly want to make a difference, start approaching it like these people are, or could be, people that you care about. Make a lasting impression on this planet. Don't make it temporary. Because you can be the funniest dude, you can be the quirkiest, talk with marbles in your mouth, you can do all this other shit. And people will remember you and your impact for just a short period of time, and then poof, you're gone. The reason that we are here on this planet is to make a difference. That's why we're given this beautiful opportunity called life. And some of us have different opportunities that we're able to offer. I'm in a position where I'm able to go to different places and help communities and be there for a shoulder, a voice, a hand. I know some of you aren't able to. That's why you support through here, so I can go support there, and I take you there as well. While I'm shoveling through the bullshit and the hate and the talking shit and all this other dumb shit that comes along with social media and these platforms. It's not just going out there and giving these people 150%. There's a lot of stuff that people have to deal with too that nobody even knows about or would even understand. It's easy to sit there and make clickbait. It's easy to sit there and talk out your mouth and then out the other hole and all this other stuff and pretend like you know your shit, talking third person, you know, King Kong shit. Make a real difference. It's so sad because these people have so much energy that they can push and that they can promote. And I just don't understand. Is it about you or is it about these people? Actions will always speak louder than words. And right now, all of those actions ain't speaking very much. It's sad. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. I want to say contribution call out here. I'm going to go ahead and mention them and then I'll give you all a clap at the very end. Thank you all for your support. It really does mean a lot to me. And like you all know, without you, I couldn't do the stuff that we're able to do. So thank you very much, Fly Girl. I I don't know if I know you're not a new member. I know with the whole demonetization for a week and a half affected some things. So thank you again. I appreciate it very much. Some it stayed. Some it stayed. It during the week and a half that we were demonetized. Anybody that had a reoccurring membership automatically just got dropped. They didn't even get a message. There's like 60 members that just got dropped during that week and a half time period, and they didn't even get a message. And I want to say thank you to the community because I didn't even know we were back until you all were telling me that you got an email saying the memberships were resuming. So thank you all for that because it was a very interesting day for that. Member for 18 months, Kid Kitty, glad to have you back. It's been, yeah, I know it's been longer, but thank you so much. Thank you. Guidance, thank you as well. I know you've been a member before. It was probably during one of those. Happy holidays. There we go. 6 months. There we go. YouTube is weird, isn't it? And thank you. Happy holidays to you and your loved ones. To all of you, if I don't see you until after Christmas, I want to say it right now. Merry Christmas. Please be safe and hug and kiss your loved ones because you never know. You never know. Katrina, happy holidays to you with all the emojis. Jam some emojis in chat, y'all. We love emojis here. People are like, why do you like CJ's chat so much? They emoji too much. No, emojis are cartoons in chat. And we've always loved emojis here ever since the first day. You can go to the first episodes. Typically unique member for 17 months. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Hopefully the snow has gotten better over there. I don't know. Were you guys getting hit again? I think. Tammy. Jeffrey Davis, member for 5 months, and Merry Christmas to you. And Kib Kitty with the 20 gifted memberships. Dang, thank you so much. Let me give you all a round of applause. And if you were gifted a membership from Kib Kitty, thank her with some special emojis that y'all got back since I was so sad they took those emojis away from you guys, and it's nice to see them back. I love you guys. Yes, Merry Christmas. All right, so I do want to bring up one thing because, and I'm going to share this link with you guys. This is very important because I know there's people out there that are using Google. They're using Google when it comes to, I've already broken this down. When it comes to Google, and this is very important when you're digging into footage. When it comes to Google, I've already shown based off of the footage. Now it was dropped for members April 17th. I think I took it like a week and a half before that, maybe 2 weeks before that. I can't remember the exact date. I was, because we were like marathon searching. Literally, those were the days because we went like weeks and months. And those were the days I was literally only getting like maybe 2 hours of sleep. Driving there and back every single day, searching all day out in the woods, on the boats, just everything. Just trying to find Sebastian. And I think it was about a week and a half, somewhere around there, maybe 2 weeks before I was able to finally upload it for you guys. I didn't upload my footage until I had like a day break in between a week or two of searching. But the important thing is, and it is in my video tab, you can see I broke it down, showed you the difference. But the important thing is if you're using Google, for digging into the footage, the cameras on Google, there's some of them that are pointed in a different direction than they were when Sebastian went missing. Okay, and that's why this is very important. And so I'll share this. There's two versions I did. I got a front view and a side view. So if anybody needs both of them, I got both of them. It's like you're riding in the car with me. Here's the side view. The most important one is this side view, because this link right here will show you that some of those cameras were pointed in a different direction in that neighborhood when Sebastian went missing compared to what it shows you on Google. And so if anybody's going to be digging into the footage and the, what's this and hey, this and that, seriously, you gotta this, it's GoPro. You can literally pause it crystal clear. It's not like Julie Skoltic was talking shit about, I mean, gosh, he's stupid. He's not intelligent. She was there talking shit about me and my intelligence. I don't have any. My footage is grainy. I was like, damn. I'm sorry. You can go to that link. You can see it's GoPro 5.3K. And literally, if you pause it, boom, it's clear. But anyway, I don't know. She just rambles and goes on about all sorts of people. She's loose cannon. It's a loose cannon. But that's why this footage is important. Now, like I said in my video section, you can go see it. I broke it down, showing you the cameras and where they really were facing and cameras where they weren't compared to Google. Google, I mean, it's a beautiful tool. It's a beautiful tool. Beautiful tool when it comes to looking around. But when it comes to getting the pinpoint, unless somebody's there to take footage like we did, you're not going to capture that in time. You're not going to capture it in time. And that's why it's important. All right, so I'm going to go to this court TV video. This was from yesterday, okay? And we're going to get into this first. This was, a day ago. And this is when Jennifer Coffindaffer was on court TV. So give me 1 second. We'll switch to that, and then we'll get into that other episode. Thank you all for being here.
This morning, we're shining the spot.
Please hit the like if you haven't yet. It is a free way, and I appreciate you all being here.
Video of him before he disappeared. Security cameras caught Sebastian eating dinner with his mother at a Texas Roadhouse in Hendersonville, Tennessee, the day before he vanished. His mother was seen taking photos of him and then sending them to somebody. Now, looking at this video, it's kind of hard to believe he hasn't been seen since then, but that is the case. Sebastian vanished from his mother's home on February 26th. His father says he still has hope he'll be found.
The goal is still the same. Find Sebastian. He needs to be found and brought home to a home that loves him.
Sebastian's 16th birthday was last weekend, and police say that they're still actively investigating this case, and they're not deeming it a cold case as of now. I have a special guest I want to welcome onto the program now. You know her, I love her, retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. She also, by the way, has her own brand new YouTube show called Break the Case. It is awesome. Be sure to check it out. Jennifer, good morning to you. You were one of the first people to follow this case. I love following you on Twitter, and I remember seeing you were doing the missing person tweets, as you always do, and have continued to follow every single development. Looking at this, as it is hard to not have emotion in it because your heart just breaks for this family, this teenager. Where do you think the investigation is likely to go from here? Does it go anywhere?
Well, Julie, looking at this tape, and I've had it for so long, I just didn't release it until it was released by others. But essentially what I was looking for were the reactions of the mom, of course, Sebastian's actions. A couple of things I noticed is his eating style. I thought was very interesting. It was like he hadn't been fed in a week. I'm not saying he hadn't been fed in a week. I'm just saying the way he eats was very, aggressive. He was just constantly eating. What I also noticed from the mother was her staring around, looking around, almost like she was on surveillance for someone. In addition, she was on her
right? Eating for a week. I was like, not saying that he wasn't fed for a week, but it was like he wasn't fed for a week. And I'm like, doesn't that remind you when somebody's like, hey, no offense, but then they're going to say something offensive, right? Right? No offense. No offense, but I'm going to say something that's offensive. No, so when I heard this last night, I was like, whoa, and that's why I started off the show the way I started it off. That's why I lay the groundwork out before we get into the information, because it's like, I wanted to sit there and tell you. I was a parent. I had full custody. Mom didn't pay no child support. It was hard to make it sometimes. There was times that I was at a restaurant where I just ate frickin' breadsticks. Okay? Times get tough when mama don't want to pay no child support. You're a single dad. Full custody. No child support. I've been there eating effing breadsticks, and that was it. That it's about them. It's about them. Right? That's why I said that at the beginning of the show. And like I said also in the beginning of the show, we were live when this footage dropped. There was other creators pissed at us talking shit about us on their lives after we were done. Well, I didn't think he was supposed to play that yet. What the fuck are you talking about? It was put out to the public. You know, it was put out to the public. I'm sorry. Yes, we're going to watch it. We broke it down live. We were watching it live. When I first seen it live, I was like, it took me back. That's why I gave you guys that reference. It took me back to the day that I was at Olive Garden. You know, eat your chicken fettuccine Alfredo. Loves the breadsticks and salads. So do I. Well, guess what? Yes, I was at Olive Garden watching it get tore up while I'm eating breadsticks. And to me, that was okay. So when I'm watching that video, the first night it got dropped, I was like, it took me back to that day. Like, and I'd be like, are you going to breathe? I would make comments sometimes. I would make comments sometimes like, are you going to be able to breathe? Are you okay? Do you need another pop? Like, you know, just joke around. I'd be the dad. You know, on call 24 hours a day. I'd be the dad looking at the phone, you know. How are they how is she supposed to, you know, I'm talking in my situation. How is she supposed to tell me how her day was when I already done asked her before we got to the restaurant? But I'm supposed to keep asking her how her day was while she's plowing down on fettuccine Alfredo. I don't want my child to choke. I don't want my child to choke. Look, if you love fettuccine Alfredo, then go for it. You know what I'm saying? Blaze your path. If fettuccine Alfredo at Olive Garden makes you want to tear it up, tear it up. I'm just glad that we get to be there. We get to spend time together. I'm not going to ask you a bunch of questions when I don't want you to choke on your food. So when I'm sitting there watching the video the first night, I'm like, oh, hey, had a long day. We've all heard about the day he had. Had a long day. Was out doing a lot of stuff. Busy, burning through the energy. There's plenty nights that oh my gosh, so many nights, so many programs and so many you know, concerts and games and programs and you know, all sorts of stuff. Busy. Get home. Yeah, it's being a teen. So, like I said, when I first seen this last night, I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." Busby, it got to the point. Busby, check this out, bro. Check this out. This is how I was proud of myself. Check this out. I was proud of myself. I started to learn how to make the fettuccine Alfredo, all of that stuff from scratch. I mean, from scratch. It wasn't no powder mix. It wasn't no heated up in the microwave. No, buddy. I was like, you know what? I need to learn how to make this at home because I'm going to make it even better than Olive Garden. And I tell you what, I was proud because, man, I tell you what, that Alfredo sauce that I made, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right, we're gonna listen to this again. I was like, what?
Him before he disappeared. Security cameras caught Sebastian eating dinner with his mother at a Texas Roadhouse in Hendersonville, Tennessee, the day before he vanished. His mother was seen taking photos of him and then sending them to somebody. Now, looking at this video, it's kind of hard to believe he hasn't been seen since then. but that is the case. Sebastian vanished from his mother's home on February 26th. His father says he still has hope he'll be found.
The goal is still the same. Find Sebastian. He needs to be found and brought home to a home that loves him.
Sebastian's 16th birthday was last weekend, and police say that they're still actively investigating this case, and they're not deeming it a cold case as of now. I have a special guest I want to welcome onto the program now. You know her and love her, retired FBI Special Agent J.Coff. She also, by the way, has her own brand new YouTube show called Break the Case. It is awesome. Be sure to check it out. Jennifer, good morning to you. You were one of the first people to follow this case. I love following you on Twitter, and I remember seeing you were doing the missing person tweets, as you always do, and have continued to follow every single development. Looking at this, as it is hard to not have emotion in it because your heart just breaks for this family, this teenager. Where do you think the investigation is likely to go from here? Does it go anywhere?
Well, Julie, looking at this tape, and I've had it for so long, I just didn't release it until it was released by others. But essentially what I was looking for were the reactions of the mom, of course, Sebastian's actions. One of the things, a couple of things I noticed is his eating style I thought was very interesting. It was like he hadn't been fed in a week. I'm not saying he hadn't been fed in a week. I'm just saying the way he eats was very...
Man, it's like nails on a chalkboard, man. It's like nails on a chalkboard. I see some of you got your parents of autistic children in chat, and I see what you're saying. Type it again if you guys want. Like, yikes. So no, when it comes to the title, I'm sorry. What's a week? What's a week? No offense, but offense. Right, Jill? I'm saying, but I'm not saying. It's like a week. Yikes. So no. And that's why, listen, like I said at the beginning of the show, if anybody's just joining, you got to go to the beginning. I was like, listen, the stuff we were talking about, we brought it up, the landfill, there was no grid. We went even deeper about the no grid. We showed you photos of how there was no hazmat suits. We brought up the different cases, Quentin Simon and Sebastian's, when it came to the landfill search in the very beginning. We were bringing all these things up. And so when it comes to the stuff that she was saying, like today, that's what I was saying. Like, yo, what was it, like seven or eight red flags or something like that? I was like, yo, I mean, listen, she's making a lot of sense. There's somebody that she had on her show like from 4 months ago, if you guys remember. We'll go through it in the future here. I kind of want to watch it again with you guys anyway. But it was some dude that had like red reading glasses on, and he was on the right side of the video, and I think he was a lawyer or something, and he was talking, I mean, he was just brutally honest. If the community remembers, if you were here back then and you guys remember seeing that dude was brutally honest about a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? So when it came to the stuff she was bringing up today, it was like, yeah, that's legit. And when it comes to all the stuff that she's talking about, we can vouch for it because we were there from the very beginning, before Nate, Cajun and all these other people. And we've been there since. We've never given up. And then when you hear what the stuff is, all this time goes by, you hear what she's saying. Hey, FBI, you know what I'm saying? Shout out. But it was just this one thing, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And then when we were in there today, and maybe that's why, because I was in there, like I always do. I support anybody that is, talking about Sebastian in a productive and peaceful way. I'm always going in their chats and I'm, doing the green wave and showing love. And I was doing this as well. I was in there showing the green wave a bunch and showing some love, and like I always do. But then when it came to that part about the meals and stuff, I was like, yo, like, um, I would have to ask Seth. You know what I'm saying? So it's I she goes into it deeper. I guess she says, according to you guys, she says that uh that he told her this in private. Is that right, Busby? He told her this in private, that it was not normal or something like that. Um you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I've never heard. I don't you think Seth would have? Let's be honest, chat, and go ahead and type 1 for yes and 2 for no. Don't you think? Don't you think we would have heard that already? Don't you think that would have been mentioned in like April? Right? I mean that. I mean I'm just. If somebody was like, hey, that he just wasn't eat, that's not how he normally eats, he then I think Seth would have came out and said it. Maybe not right away, because he was totally in agreement with law enforcement. They whatever. But then when it came to April, that's when he started getting frustrated. That's when he was letting little beeps, like beep, little snippets in there, here and there, little things, like blue, little darts, And then think about how it got to. Remember, like he was even at a vigil and he was saying something about law enforcement. So don't you think he would have said at some point, yo, like, especially when this video dropped, because this video's been out. What? Let me go to my videos. I mean, we covered it. We were live the night that it dropped. We were live and we went right to it. More than 2 weeks ago. He's been on a couple lives. He's been on a couple lives. We haven't heard him say that. I've never heard him say that. I would assume, because let's be honest, because when he came on our show on April 2nd, April 4th, April 2nd, something like that, when he came on our show, that's when he just got this Texas Roadhouse footage. So he would have known this since April. Don't you think he would have said something since April? Look, y'all. Look. Listen, he must have been, that was not his normal eating habit. I've never heard that from him, so I don't know. But to me, it's shocking, because it's like, whoa, a week? A week? And I don't know how many times have you all heard no offense, and then somebody says something offensive, right? You hear it all the time. No offense, but hey, your shoes look like shit. No offense. Well, fuck you too. Right? No offense, but your shoes look like shit. I'm just like, whoa. Now, I raised, head a household on my own, had these situations. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary when it came to the footage. I know she's looking around and all this other stuff. Listen, you can't tell me you wouldn't be able to see me on restaurant footage at least one time. while my child is plowing down on some food. I mean, hello. Now, what is suspicious and what has always been suspicious is the green hoodie standing between the car for so long. That's suspicious. This right here, I don't know. I can watch it. I mean, listen, I put a lot of work into it. I did different zooms. It reminded me of mine plowing down on some fettuccine Alfredo at Olive Garden while I was eating breadsticks and salad. So I didn't think it's been a week since he ate. I didn't think I don't know. But it's just me. And that's the beautiful thing about opinion. You can have it as long as it's respectful. But that's just where I'm coming from. Let's do some contribution callouts here real quick. Tara B, 999 super chat. Yay, I'm here. Better yet, y'all are here. I'm rushing like crazy and getting ready for work, but I'm here. Missed you all so much. God is good, huh? CJ is back, y'all. Team PPP. Thank you so much, Tara. And I'm glad because I got to some of the messages on the other video, and I saw that you're always at work. And hey, listen, even if you're on replay or you're chilling back and you can only listen, I appreciate it. Really, it means a lot to me because every little teeny bit counts when it comes to y'all's support. So really, I appreciate it. Also, contribution call out Norma with the 10 gifted memberships. If you were gifted a membership, please give her an extra hug in there and throw her some special emojis too. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, that green hoodie, yeah, it is suspicious. You're standing in the middle of two freaking cars. It's kind of like I brought up in the beginning. It's like, what if they were asking for $1? You know, hey, do you have $1? I don't have $1. Everybody looks. You know, or whatever. I don't know. But it's also, like I said, when it comes to the Texas Roadhouse, they have other cameras. They're going to have, you saw on the video, it said number 2. They have other cameras. They're going to have a camera that's on the front door, in and out, automatically before they have any outside cameras, period. That's just how it is. They got cash registers in there. They don't have them outside. Let's be real. They're going to have the camera on the inside before they have it on the outside. So we already knew, like, person had to have been checked out, you know, like, honestly, how many people wearing that kind of clothing? How often do you see those white ass, you know, ties on the hoodies? Not very much. Usually it's the strings, you know, not very much. So it wouldn't have been that hard to figure out who it was. Was it suspicious? Yeah, it's suspicious. But if they've already checked it out and they cleared it, what can you do? Law enforcement says it's been cleared. So what can you do? Contribution call out Mama, a 5.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Let me scroll up and see what it is. Is it going to show me? No. Oh, the chat froze. Hold on a minute. YouTube still won't fix this. Is it going to show me? There it is. A smile of face. Thank you so much, Mama and Tara B. Thank you for being a member as well. Let me give you all this one more. Thank you all for being part of the community. Really, it means a lot. So, that's just, I was like, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. A week. I was like, you know, I don't agree with it. It's not that I made any kind of, because I don't listen. If I don't agree with something, or if there's a troll in there trying to bait me, I don't even pay attention to him. I don't. And I certainly don't act disrespectful, But when it came to this part of that episode, I was just like, oh gosh. I was like, hey, how do we know this is not how he ate? You know what I'm saying? Maybe this was his favorite meal at Texas Roadhouse. It was a special day. Maybe it was his favorite meal at this restaurant, and that's why. You know what I'm saying? It'd be nice to know. Like, it'd be cool if at night, or Nick or Tony or Seth or somebody could, actually, like, before it goes real crazy, hopefully somebody can, put what it is out there. Was this really odd for Sebastian? Because me as a father, it wasn't odd to me, because I've seen my child eat like that before with a favorite meal. So it was a special day. I don't know. I would. Yikes.
Cameras caught Sebastian eating dinner with his mother at a Texas Roadhouse in Hendersonville, Tennessee, the day before he vanished. His mother was seen taking photos of him and then sending them to somebody. Now, looking at this video, it's kind of hard to believe he hasn't been seen since then. But that is the case. Sebastian vanished from his mother's home on February 26th. His father says he still has hope he'll be found.
The goal is still the same. Find Sebastian. He needs to be found and brought home to a home that loves him.
Sebastian's 16th birthday was last weekend, and police say that they're still actively investigating this case, and they're not deeming it a cold case as of now. I have a special guest I want to welcome onto the program now. You know her and love her, retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindeffer. She also, by the way, has her own brand new YouTube show called Break the Case. It is awesome. Be sure to check it out. Jennifer, good morning to you. You were one of the first people to follow this case. I love following you on Twitter, and I remember seeing you were doing the missing person tweets, as you always do, and have continued to follow every single development. Looking at this, as it is hard to not have emotion in it, because your heart just breaks for this family, this teenager. Where do you think the investigation is likely to go from here? Does it go anywhere?
Well, Julie, looking at this tape, and I've had it for so long, I just didn't release it until it was released by others. But essentially what I was looking for were the reactions of the mom, of course, Sebastian's actions. A couple of things I noticed is his eating style. I thought was very interesting. It was like he hadn't been fed in a week. I'm not saying he hadn't been fed in a week. I'm just saying the way he eats was very, aggressive. He was just constantly eating. What I also noticed from the mother was her staring around, looking around, almost like she was on surveillance for someone. In addition, she was on her phone such a large percentage of the time, seemingly not really engaged with Sebastian. These were just a couple of takeaways. Julie, I also looked at the people around. Was anybody watching them? And there's other film footage that I've personally viewed that might give some credence to somebody else watching them.
That's interesting. That's really interesting, Jen. And thank you for pointing that out, because as I'm watching it, and look, I'm not an investigator as you are, that was the first thing that jumped out, was her head's going every which way. She's sitting there with her son, and like you said, she's not engaging him. And just to kind of back up and reiterate, to digest this more, in what you've seen other people looking at them too? Did it seem like they were trying to find each other? Like, is she looking for someone, I wonder? What do you think, Jennifer?
Well, yes, in other footage.
Like a week? Gia twins? Like a week? Oh my gosh. The left foot before the right foot, the left foot before the right foot.
That I've seen. I haven't released
Hey, no offense, but your shoes look like shit.
it. It's not for me to release. But I think that there may be some questions now regarding somebody possibly looking at them, certainly not acting appropriate. And I'm sure that will be released soon. And when you put it in conjunction with how Katie Proudfoot is acting, it just adds up to something that doesn't make a lot of logical sense.
Sure. Jennifer, this has me wondering, did he even go back to the house? Do we have any confirmation that he ever made it back to the house? Because he's said to have, he's reported missing from the house, supposedly in the middle of the night, wanders off. And now I'm just wondering about that. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, please.
Well, I think, unfortunately, we're so reliant on what Katie Proudfoot has to say. She's the last person to see him. She's the only one with him. She's the one that makes the report. We're so reliant on that. And I've also found it very interesting, that she works for a video recording company and meaning, home security type company. And yet we have no home security footage. At least that we know of Sebastian Rogers coming, going. There's, very little, let me say. And I've always found that very much to be an oxymoron, Julie.
Sure. And we know that Sebastian had special needs. We know that he was living with autism and needed some extra care in the home. A great point you just made, Jennifer. Perhaps it would be helpful.
Isn't that the first news person to question if he returned home? That's a good question, Busby. I feel like Nick Barris wasn't he? Yeah, the green hoodie was way more suspicious than anything else. Right, Jennifer? Listen, that's why I said, look, we were live when the footage was dropped to the public, okay? We were live when it was dropped to the public. We watched it that night. I split it up in 12 different Zooms. Up and down, different zooms on one part, different corners. We broke it down. I watched that damn thing so many times in the next 2 days after that thing came out. Listen, nothing stuck out to me. In fact, I was like, oh, that's like when my daughter would eat fettuccine Alfredo at Olive Garden. It was and I'm eating breadsticks. Like, what? Yeah, I was amazed at how much teenagers can eat. Come on now. I didn't get no help from mama. I'm sitting there going, damn. But it wasn't about me. So when I seen this video from the first time, I mean, it's been out for weeks. I definitely didn't think he didn't eat for a week. I was like, yo, I've does that mean that mine was a pig? Like what, because mine didn't starve. The only person that starved in that equation was me. There's no way that shoot. That's why I was just like, whoa. That's like I said, I'm like, what? So Like I said, when I watched that show today, and like beginning of the show, she had a whole bunch, like everything she was saying was spot on. We even agreed with it. I told you how we agreed with it when we were saying this stuff. Like, it's always been in agreement with all those flags. It's always been. I mean, hell, look at the shows that we're doing. Look at the work that we're doing. Look at the investigating and the searching that we've done and continue to do. I mean, come on now. We have the actual footage of the neighborhood showing where the cameras are pointed. Some don't. You know what I'm saying? We have it from when he was just right after he was taken. Nobody else has it. I definitely didn't think a week. I know I keep talking about Olive Garden. It sounds so good, don't it? It really does. We're not I'm actually, because she's talking about this stuff, like I said, here, I'll drop you the link for her episode if you all want to watch it. I'm actually gonna switch directions here. Because I want to show with what she's saying and what you guys have seen. And listen, the red flags are the red flags. I told you all in the beginning, when it comes to the timeline, when it comes to the landfill search, when it comes to all the other stuff, you guys know. She's not going to tell you anything that you don't know. Okay? It's just there's somebody on a platform that has a lot of credentials that's saying it finally. You know what I mean? And listen, we agree with it. But there's just one where I was just like, look, I've been digging into these videos for weeks. And not one time did I sit there and go, oh my gosh. He didn't get fed for a week. I'm like, oh boy. No, I can't agree with that. I would have to hear it from Seth himself. So who knows? Maybe Seth or Nick or At Night or Tony or somebody, maybe they can come out and let the public know, because listen, I think the longer that the public doesn't know about him eating, it's a special day, it could be a special meal, that it was his favorite, he was burning energy all day, he was starving, like, somebody please tell us, because yikes. So I'll share that link. You guys can check it out. I was going to check it out, but with what happened earlier, like I said, I was just dropping green waves like I always do, support. And then when it came to the topic about not eating, I was like, well, who says that that's not how we normally ate that? Who says that, who said that was the only time, like he ate like that? That was just the two things. And the next thing you know, I couldn't type messages anymore in the live chat. So, honestly, I'm just gonna show you. Look, it was last night in court TV when I first heard it. She'll double down on it in that episode, but it's probably best that I don't play that episode, considering what took place in the live chat earlier. You all can go see the live chat, the replay. You can see there's only 2 messages I left. Neither one of them were disrespectful. Neither one of them were like, hey, no, it was just like, who says that's not how we ate? Those are the only things I really said. So I think it's best that I don't tap into that specific channel's water, if you catch my drift. But instead, what she is talking about really makes me want to go back to the Nancy Grace episode with Chris and Katie, because even though we've been doing the 1 week talk for a minute, I'm going to go back to this. And this is why I want to watch the Chris and Katie on Nancy Grace one more time.
Julie, I also looked at the people around. Was anybody watching them? And there's other film footage that I've personally viewed that might give some credence to somebody else watching them.
That's interesting. That's really interesting, Jen. And thank you for pointing that out, because as I'm watching it, and look, I'm not an investigator as you are, that was the first thing that jumped out was her head's going every which way. She's sitting there with her son, and like you said, she's not engaging him. And just to kind of back up and reiterate, to digest this more, in what you've seen other people looking at them too. Did it seem like they were trying to find each other? Like, is she looking for someone, I wonder? What do you think, Jennifer?
Well, yes, in other footage that I've seen, I haven't released it. It's not for me to release. But I think that there may be some questions now regarding somebody possibly looking at them, certainly not acting appropriate. And I'm sure that will be released soon. And
when this is just, and it's a good question, because it was brought up. Actually, I think Busby brought it up last night, because we were discussing it last night in our team chat, and he actually brought up that question. And I believe it's the footage that's the outside footage. Now, it could be some other footage, but I would have to think that it's footage that's the outside footage. What do you guys think? Do you think? I'm thinking it was the outside footage that she's talking about, because they're only talking about the inside footage. They're only talking about what's going on at the table, how he's eating. Well, I mean, K-Mac, does anybody watch? I hate to say this. Does anybody watch her? Because she does mess up on some key information. She always, and you'll see even in the episode from today, there's different parts. Oh, I didn't know that, because of the chat. Sometimes she isn't always up to speed. I'm just being honest, K-Mac. Come on. I mean, listen, you can see it today. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Like going to chat and, oh, okay. I thought, oh, it was this. Oh, I mean, I don't know. I just thought maybe it was the other. Let's go back. We'll go back.
Also noticed from the mother was her staring around, looking around, almost like she was on surveillance for someone. In addition, she was on her phone such a large percentage of the time, seemingly not really engaged with Sebastian. These were just a couple of takeaways. Julie, I also looked at the people around. Was anybody watching them? And there's other film footage that I've personally viewed that might give some credence to somebody else watching them.
Right. The footage from outside. The footage from somebody outside in green hoodie. That's why I think that she is talking about the outside footage, because the outside footage shows somebody standing in between the two cars for a period of time, like somebody's watching him. I don't know if she knows that this footage has been released. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she thinks that only this footage was released and the outside wasn't. But if you listen to it again, doesn't that describe the outside footage?
Aggressive. He was just constantly eating. What I also noticed from the mother was her staring around, looking around, almost like she was on surveillance for someone. In addition, she was on her phone such a large percentage of the time, seemingly not really engaged with Sebastian. These were just a couple of takeaways. Julie, I also looked at the people around. Was anybody watching them? And there's
Looked at the people around inside. See what I mean? Then she describes the outside footage.
other film footage that I've personally viewed that might give some credence to somebody else watching them.
Other film footage, not new film footage, not film footage that the public hasn't seen or that hasn't been released. I've just seen other footage that looks like somebody is watching. To me, that describes the outside footage. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Like, to me, it just describes the outside footage. I know after this dropped, it was like, well, but if you just listen to it, it just describes, I don't know, to me, it describes outside footage. Doesn't say anything that's like it's secret, hasn't been seen, it's new, none of that.
Of the time, seemingly not really engaged with Sebastian. These were just a couple of takeaways. Julie, I also looked at the people around. Was anybody watching them? And there's other film footage that I've personally viewed that might give some credence to somebody else watching them.
That's interesting. That's really interesting, Jen.
Right. So, and it's not new. And News Nation went nuts. New footage, new update. It's like, what? News Nation? You're like 3 weeks behind, yo.
Thank you for pointing that out, because as I'm watching it, and look, I'm not an investigator as you are. That was the first thing that jumped out was her head's going every which way. She's sitting there with her son, and like you said, she's not engaging him. And just to kind of back up and reiterate, to digest this more, in what you've seen other people looking at them too. Did it seem like they were trying to find each other? Like, is she looking for someone, I wonder? What do you think, Jennifer?
Well, yes, in other footage that I've seen, I haven't released it. It's not for me to release. But you know, I think that there may be some questions now regarding somebody possibly looking at them, certainly not acting appropriate.
So what would it be? Thank you, Norma. I mean, you see the footage, walking out, get to the car, leave. The person walks in, goes to the bathroom, exits the bathroom, goes out to the car. Now, this could be the footage, maybe. So, you know, the footage of the lights. The footage of the lights. Remember, the footage of the lights was only somebody taking a video of a video? That's the only other footage that I know that has not been released. Because remember, law enforcement said there is no video footage of Sebastian leaving the house. There's no video footage of Sebastian leaving the house. What other footage has not been released yet? Another business? Was Green Hoodie at another business? Was yeah. Yeah, it's a longer. They're not going to release the whole thing. The top left, it should be on my channel in my video section. I did all the corners. That's one thing that I'm thinking, Busby. That's what I'm just saying. Like, did Green Hoodie go to the bowling alley? Did it go somewhere? Where was it at the same? They showed up somewhere else in the same spot. But yeah, and that's the important thing, right? They've had this from the start. So, like right here, I think this is probably the most probable. Because remember, Seth just wanted the proof of life. The proof of life is the last video where he was seen, right? Not the whole day. Proof of life is the last known footage of particular individual. Last known footage. Proof of life. Strike and spare wasn't proof of life. Oh, they have to, bro. I bet you there's more cameras there than there was at Texas Roadhouse. They have to have way more. Have to have way more. Proof of life isn't this is the proof of life. This is the last known footage. But what she says is that somebody was following. Hold on, let me back it up just a skosh. Was Green Hoodie? Hold on a minute. Was Green Hoodie at the bowling alley too? Because who else looks suspicious? Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah, exactly. And when you're talking about this right here, I won't say shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Z. When you're talking about this right here, yeah, you're damn straight. Bowling alleys, yeah. Because look, Green Hoodie was the only one. Green Hoodie was the only one that acted suspicious in any of these videos. You can't even see. You can't even see the person get out of the car that Green Hoodie got out of. So that could be somebody in a orange and purple coat. You wouldn't even know. I'm gonna listen to this again. I wonder because anybody else, who else looks suspicious? She said she looked at the background to see if anybody. Who else? Who else would appear that they're following? I wonder if she's seen Green Hoodie at the bowling alley.
Looking for someone, I wonder? What do you think, Jennifer?
Well, yes, and other footage that I've seen, I haven't released it. It's not for me to release. But I think that there may be some questions now regarding somebody possibly looking at them, certainly not acting appropriate. And I'm sure that will be released soon.
Somebody not acting appropriate. I would like to talk to the 4 people. We'll go to, you know what? I'm sure we can get to the Nancy Grace. We'll go to one of the Zooms and we'll look at it. Where was that said, Betty H? Because I don't remember that. Where was that said? Because a lot of us don't remember that. 4 people on the other side. We'll look at that in a minute.
And when you put it in conjunction with how Katie Proudfoot is acting.
So do you mean the people right here, Busby? These people right here at this? Let me know. The dude in the white hat?
It just adds up to something that doesn't make a lot of logical sense.
Sure. Jennifer, this has me wondering, did he even go back to the house? Do we have any confirmation that he ever made it back to the house? Because he's said to have, he's reported missing from the house, supposedly in the middle of the night, wanders off. And now I'm just wondering about that. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, please.
Well, I think, unfortunately, we're so reliant on what Katie Proudfoot has to say. She's the last person to see him. She's the only one with him. She's the one that makes the report. We're so reliant on that. And I've also found it very interesting, that she...
Well, you bring up a good question because... You bring up a good question because, like I said, I wonder if she even knows that these videos were released. Because I was in the show earlier, and there's a couple times that the chat had to correct some information because she didn't know it. So not that it's her job to dig into Sebastian Rogers' case, like any of us do. She's got other things going on. But that's one of the first things that I thought of when I heard her say that. It was like, well, maybe she just doesn't know that the footage has been released. She's describing the outside video to me. I've heard her plenty of times thank chat for giving her the right information. So, but at the same time, when I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about it, well, maybe what if she is talking about footage that has not been released? Well, then it's got to be something, and that's, shout out to Busby. I think it's the bowling alley footage. And if it is video that has not been released, well, then that really makes somebody suspicious, because then not only Green Hoodie was acting weird standing between those cars for so long, but also somebody else, or maybe the same person was acting weird in some other footage. So it's like, we need some updates for real, because we don't know. But I can't sit, I've already explained it. It could be like she just don't know it's released outside video, or it could be there is some other video. Maybe it is the full video of the lights, right? Because the light video is just somebody's recording of a recording. Maybe it's the full lights video. Um, or maybe it's a video like Busby said at the bowling alley. It could be anywhere that day. You know what I mean? They were doing a lot of stuff.
He works for a video recording company, and meaning, home security type company, and yet we have no home security footage, at least that we know of Sebastian Rogers coming, going. There's, very little, let me say. And I've always found that very much to be an oxymoron, Julie.
Sure. And we know that Sebastian had special needs. We know that he was living with autism and needed some extra care in the home. A great point you just made, Jennifer. Perhaps it would be helpful even to have more eyes on him throughout more times of the day if he's not in your direct line of sight. So do you know if they even had any video cameras established in the home at all?
I think there were video cameras established outside the home. As far as inside the home, I have not read or heard any legitimate, data regarding that. But again, this just makes little sense to me regarding the fact that he had autism. I understand he wasn't a wanderer per se, but this is something that persists with people that are on the spectrum. We see it every week, somebody leaving their home and sadly being found in a body of water. And so if you have those utilities available to you, why wouldn't you utilize them?
Mm-hmm, exactly. Great points from you as always. Jennifer Coffin.
Yeah, she did make some great points. Let me see here, Busby. I'm looking at the videos. I might have one, but I didn't upload it. Hold on. There was a bunch I didn't even upload. Let me see this one right here. Give me 1 second. I don't know if it is new footage. It's got to be from somewhere else. And then if it's not acting appropriate behavior, well, where who did what? Like, is it the same person? What? So she had it before. Well, just think about the bowling alleys, though. Bowling alleys have a ton of them. I'm just waiting about 30 seconds until this video is done, and then we'll check it out. Then we'll check out the Nancy Grace episode with Chris and Katie, because she does bring up a lot of points. I do kind of want to go into that Chronicle of Olivia one, but we'll check that one out on another night. I want to go back to the Nancy Grace one. Let me see here. Let me save this in a folder, and we'll get into this. All right, so let me pull it up. So you said the 4 people, Busby? All right, so let me pause it here. Let me make it. Let me zoom it in some more. So we'll go about right there. And also, I want to say contribution call out Katrina for the $3. Oh, no, we need to heart and like. Contribution call out Katrina for the $3 super sticker. Is it going to show me? Yes, it is. It's the prickly pear with the thumbs up. Thank you so much. And then also Beach Bell with the 1999 super chat. Thank you so much for that. And also thank you for the $4.99 super comment on the video earlier. Thank you. Yeah, hit the like on that too. I love how YouTube does that. You guys can hit like and even respond to them with messages. That's cool. All right, so I'm going to play this here. Are these the 4 people? His ears were the closest and he might have overheard something. Oh, okay. Love you too. Damn, seeing that's making me hungry, y'all. What is it? Macaroni? Baked mac and cheese. Parmesan cheese sprinkled on top. It's all crusty from the oven. No? Sounds good to me. I know, Pam. Oh, look at that. I'm just thinking of breadsticks, y'all. I remember them days. Listen, breadsticks and salad, I would shoot. I'd go home stuffed. Oh, yeah. Ranch dressing, salad, breadsticks. Especially from Olive Garden. Come on now. I'm sure those breadsticks were good too. Oh, he took a break from eating. Sometime I do over at the lounge. Who knows? One of these days, I want to do like some cooking shows. Have fun doing some cooking. We do it at the lounge, though. We'll do it at the lounge sometime. Yeah, I'm not seeing. I'm not really seeing. Yeah, that's if Fazoli's still exist around you. Used to be a bunch of them, not so much. Just like Boston Market. Right, K-Mac. Pasta on the go, you know? Give me all the bread. Same here, Katrina. Give me all the bread. Hey, I love salad. I love breadsticks. We're good. We're good. It's drive-through pasta, mythical. Yeah, Boston Market. Sorry, Pam. You know how it is. We always talk food sometimes too. I mean, hell, look at that. I'm looking at a meat and I'm like, damn, sounds good. Even the breadsticks. I'm not really seeing. I don't really see her looking at him. I don't see him really. Matt, I have an air fryer. I barely even use it. I need to use it more often. I've had it for like 3 or 4 years now. I don't know. I didn't really see too much of the interaction going on with both. All right, so I'm gonna go to because she was bringing up a lot of good points. So like I said, she had a great show earlier. Uh, it's just that I had to show you the court TV because last night is when I went. "Ugh." But then today it was like, hey, here, hold on. Let me let me check something. Here. Okay. I'm gonna play this with you. We're just gonna play the audio. Okay. Give me 1 second. We gotta speed it up just a skosh. But I'm gonna play the audio for you guys. Give me 1 second. We're gonna do this. Hold on. I need to do this real quick. I need to go here. Let me go here. Let me go here. All right. So this is more of what I'm talking about, okay?
I want to touch a little bit about this video. Sebastian Rogers ate like he hadn't eaten in days. I'm not saying he hasn't eaten in days. I'm saying.
Okay, so last night, listen, you can't see it, and I got the shit sped up. All right, and I'm pausing it. It's fair use. It's all that other stuff. Listen, I showed you guys last night a week. Now it's days. And like I said, you can see the live chat. I wasn't the only one. There was actually people going way beyond what I was even saying. I wasn't even saying it. I was just like, who says that's not how he ate, Yeah.
Of life, at least in our public circle on the 25th from that Roadhouse circle. We saw him there. I want to touch a little bit about this video. Sebastian Rogers ate like he hadn't eaten in days. I'm not saying he hasn't eaten in days. I'm saying, why was that? One of the reasons could have been because he was off his medication. We know that Sebastian Rogers was medicated for his medical condition and that the medication he took suppressed his appetite. So one of the thought processes is that he was not on his medication. And that's why we saw him eat in, like I said, what I noticed didn't seem the normal manner of how most people eat. Most 15-year-olds eat, even, unless they're starving. And then that's the other possibility, right? We know for a fact that Sebastian Rogers was punished. They did not like him, meaning Chris and Katie Proudfoot, who Sebastian Rogers lived with. Katie Proudfoot was his mother. Chris Proudfoot was his stepfather. We know for a fact, because I just got done listening to them talk about this.
I mean, what do you want me to tell you? What do you want me to tell you? It's this right here. And you can see, this is just one of my comments. You can see it says right here, I wonder if he ate that way normally. That's just a simple question, okay? Look. Better throw this up here too. Look. I'm like, okay, medication, yeah. But then all of a sudden, it's like right back to last night. But we know that he was punished. And I'm like, how do we know he didn't eat that way? Look, you can see it right there. Live chat. I wonder if he ate that way normally. I wasn't even directing it at anybody. Nothing. Listen again. You can see I'm showing love. We got love. I'm, hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Green hearts and all that other stuff. Ooh, we better put live on there too. Green hearts and all sorts of stuff.
Things people may think are out there because of things other people said, but that might not be accurate. We're going to just stick with the facts tonight. And believe me, there's enough facts that are at least pointing my needle for sure in one direction. Okay. All right. Now, I want to jump forward. So now we have the 26th. We know we have independent corroboration of life, at least in our public circle, on the 25th from that Roadhouse circle. We saw him there. I want to touch a little bit about this video. Sebastian Rogers ate like he hadn't eaten in days. I'm not saying he hasn't eaten in days. I'm saying, why was that? One of the reasons could have been because he was off his medication. We know.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, hey, that's legitimate. You know what I mean? Medication does things to your body and all this other stuff. Listen, when I heard it last night and then today, I was like, oh my God. After you start saying, but look, he was punished with food and all this other stuff. And I'm like, whoa, is she really saying this?
That Sebastian Rogers was medicated for his medical condition and that the medication he took suppressed his appetite.
Legit.
So one of the thought processes is that he was not on his medication. And that's why we saw him eat in, like I said, what I noticed didn't seem the normal manner of how most people eat. Most 15-year-olds eat even.
Like I said, when I first came across the video, when it dropped, it instantly took me back to when I would watch my daughter eat her favorite meal at Olive Garden. I mean, that's just me though. And we've been looking into it for a few weeks. So, I mean,
unless they're starving. And then
unless they're starving, right? It's medication. It's Hey, it could be medication. Unless they're starving because they punished and oh my God.
Most 15-year-olds eat even, unless they're starving. And then that's the other possibility, right? We know for a fact that Sebastian Rogers was punished. They did not like him, meaning Chris and Katie Proudfoot, who Sebastian Rogers lived with. Katie Proudfoot was his mother. Chris Proudfoot was his stepfather. We know for a fact, because I just got done listening to them talk about this, they did not appreciate the fact that Sebastian Rogers would get up in the middle of the night and eat, take snacks, take treats. Now,
what parent does What is there not a parent out there that gets frustrated when your child sneaks a snack from the kitchen? Right, K-Mac? Yes, I would get mad. You know why? Because my favorite thing was nutty bars back then, okay? Nutty bar listen. I'll get you cookie creams, I'll get you the frosted animal cookies, I'll get you the oatmeal raisin cookies, I'll get you all this other stuff. Just please don't touch my nutty bars. Yes, it would get frustrating when I would go out there and I'd be like, wait a minute, I thought there was 5 in this box last night, and now there's 4. Hey, did you eat one of my... No, Dad. I don't know what happened. Oh, okay. Then I'd go back 2 nights later. Oh, and a nutty bar sounds so good right now. I'd go above the fridge, go into the box, and all of a sudden there's only 2. Come on now. Right? It had to get... K-Mac, you're absolutely right. It had to get to a point where I had to have my own freaking box in my damn room with a lock on it. Because she'd go through my damn room when I'd be at work or something and find the snacks. You know? My snacks. Not hers. My snacks. Yes, I had to get a lock on it. It's like, dang. Did I ever frickin' scold her? Come on, man. There's so many more important things to be upset about. Well, you know what I would do? I made a joke out of it. It's like, hey, I'm going to tell you that it's wrong, but I'm going to make you laugh about it. But you're really going to understand that I'm being serious, though. I'm going to make a joke out of it, but you're also going to understand. You know what? Because I'm going to make you reflect. It's about being an empath, you know? Hey, come on. Would you like it if I did this to your oatmeal cream pies? Come on now. No. See what I'm saying? Come on. That's it. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to whip out a belt and go whoosh, whoosh, like I used to get when I was a fucking kid. You don't scold them. But no, the first parent to get upset the first parent to get upset that their kids were sneaking snacks. No, not true. Not true at all.
Now, Sebastian Rogers was not fat. He wasn't overweight. He wasn't at all on that side. I personally think he was very thin. His weight ratio to his height tells us he was thin. When you look at pictures of him, you can tell he's thin. The kid was thin. Now, the Proudfoots say they didn't let him, they didn't want him in the kitchen because he would get up in the middle of the night and he would eat snacks that weren't healthy for him.
So if he did that, then wouldn't he be metabolism? My best friend was skinnier than Sebastian, and he wasn't starved. He wasn't not fed for a week. He wasn't not fed for a couple days. He wasn't. Shout out Joe. Miss you, buddy. Joe was a hell of a lot more skinnier than Sebastian, and that dude ate like a horse. I'd sit there and go, damn, Joe, you just ate 2 freaking value meals, dude. How do you not gain? He's like, I don't know, man. I'll just eat and eat and eat and eat. And I'm trying to gain weight, dude, and I can't gain weight. It's like, damn, man. It's real. I don't know.
Sweets. And then he'd take them back to his room and hide it. I'm going to talk about several what I'll call red flags here. I'm calling this a red flag. For anyone to think this is just normal behavior of a 15-year-old, I don't believe that to be true. I believe it's normal behavior for a hungry 15-year-old. If you don't want them to have snacks, then have in your cupboard popcorn, granola bar if you think that's healthy, fruit, cheese, salami.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Maybe that's why he was so lean, because they had jerky and popcorn and cheese and, you know. Maybe they did. Listen, like I said, all of these flags, spot on. I'm sitting there listening, even though I wasn't allowed to type anymore. I mean, you can see it. You can go to the live chat replay. They're not deleted. You can see, like, the green waves that I do, and anybody that is respectfully talking about Sebastian. And I mean, that's what I do. It's about trying to help bring awareness, whether it's somebody else or myself. But I'm sitting there listening, and I'm like, yep, landfill, you know, this, the lights, all these different things. It's like, yeah, spot on. This was the only thing I was like, whoa. And then you know, like last night I saw that episode and I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Did I do a show about it? No, I didn't do a show about it. Did we do a show this morning? No, I didn't do a show this morning. When I'm watching this episode earlier today and I heard this and I was like, oh my Lord. Now all of a sudden, which medication legitimate, but then after all of a sudden I'm hearing like, unless you're starving, whoa, punishment and this and that. And I was like, and I was just respectful. Like I said, you can go to the live chat. You can see it. I was just respectful. So that's why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing it tonight and speeding it up so it's not the exact speed. There's the link for you. You can go check it out. It's in the very beginning. Like I said, everything else is really like spot on because we've brought that same stuff. Attention to the same stuff. But with this, I'm just like I said, that's why I started the show about talking about my own experiences and kind of setting a scene for you guys to help you all understand. Like, I'm sorry, I don't see it. I never saw it as a flag. The only thing that I saw of a flag in the Texas Roadhouse video was the fact that somebody was standing in between the two cars outside. That right there is like, yo, and there's still people in comments, that's normal. Okay, man. All right. I ain't, listen, whatever. But to me, I'm sorry, it's not. I've worked at restaurants. I mean, when people do that in a parking lot, there's something took place. But I wanted to share that with you guys because no, it wasn't just what was last night, but then even today, and that's when I was like, okay, I got to talk about this tonight because I got to tell people, look, this was her favorite freaking meal at Olive Garden, and I would watch her smash it like Sebastian was, and I was sitting there eating breadsticks like Katie. So did I look like a suspicious criminal when I was out to eat at Olive Garden? I hope not, because nobody called the cops. Nobody, alerted the waiter. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
Meats. Have the things that you think are healthy for him, but do not deny a 15-year-old growing boy the opportunity to eat when they...
You see what I'm saying? Listen, you can say all you want. You can say all you want. It's why we're talking about it tonight, because it's hello. It ain't my words. I was just like, hey, who says this is not how he normally eats?
cheese, salami, meats. Have the things that you think are healthy for him, but do not deny a 15-year-old growing boy the opportunity to eat when they are hungry.
What does that mean? Hey CJ, that doesn't mean starving, really? What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Look at the stuff for Idaho 4. You got another content creator putting out clickbait when it comes to BK's supposed presence when he was supposed to be in PA going to school in PA, and he was supposed to be making cross-country trips to somehow be a suspect in Pullman in 2021. Go look at the Twitter. It's on the same feed. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. I'm sorry. Does this not mean starving? You cannot deny a 15-year-old to eat? What?
Cheese, salami, meats. Have the things that you think are healthy for him, but do not deny a 15-year-old growing boy the opportunity to eat when they are hungry.
To me, that sounds like starving, right? So when you gather all the stuff that we've gone through, you gather the personal experience of myself. When I first came across a video, we were the first ones to show it. We were live when it dropped. Other people got pissed that we were playing it because they didn't get to play it first. Sorry, it's not about being first. It's just, hey, we got a sleuthing team out here, and they're like, yo, this just dropped. We went right to it. We went through it. I didn't see anything weird. I actually saw me and my daughter. It took me back to some hard times when I could only have the breadsticks because I wanted to make sure she could have the fancy meals, and it didn't, listen, I'm fine. Like I always said, it doesn't take much to make me happy. But I showed y'all Court TV last night. I gave you some clips of this. Here's the link to the video. If you want to go watch it yourself, you're more than welcome. It's in the very beginning. How is this not? I'm sorry, how do you not hear starving when you hear these words?
Cheese, salami, meats. Have the things that you think are healthy for him, but do not deny a 15-year-old growing boy the opportunity to eat when they are hungry.
What else is that supposed to mean? No offense, but your shoes look like shit, right? Yikes. Please get off the bubble train and get down to reality here. What's up, Breezy? Get off the bubble train, get down to reality. My Lord, people. You got to open your ears. That's why I was like, what? Crazy. Now, I don't know. Who all, let me know in chat. Type of 1 if you have, type of 2 if you haven't. Who's heard Seth say that this was suspicious eating of Sebastian? Because I haven't. I'm a 2. Let me type in 2 for myself, because I haven't heard Seth tell anybody. I haven't heard Seth tell anybody that was suspicious eating behavior, and I think Seth would have said something since April if it was suspicious eating behavior, and if it is suspicious eating behavior and he did say it, don't you think it's only right to like have somebody come out with an update and say it was or wasn't? Because this is reaching right here. We know how mainstream media is. That's why we've seen slowly over time different mainstream media because it's all this sensationalism. Go look at the Idaho 4 stuff. If you're gonna think that Koberger was in Idaho and Washington in 2021 when he was going to school in Pennsylvania, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Okay? I really don't. And that's something else that's being put out there on that feed. What do you want me to do? Listen, there's so many people out here that trash this individual, and I continue to stick up for this individual. Always have. It's like, you know what? Yeah, she does say some things, and she does have, sometimes they're a little bit behind. They're not studying the cases like we are. But you look at her point of views because she was an agent. She, decorated. There's knowledge, there's opinions, and all those things, and you got to respect it. But there's sometimes where you have to be like, yo, if this was my kid and my kid was missing and we were out to Olive Garden and I'm getting looked at a certain way because like I said, did I look like a criminal when I was in Olive Garden before? I hope not. Nobody called, nobody alerted the waiting staff. Nobody got the general manager. Nobody called corporate. Nobody, wasn't none of that. I don't know. You tell me. I just know I heard what I heard, and I was like, yo, I can't be down with that. I can't be down with that. Everything else, like I said in the beginning of the show, everything else spot on. We went through it. We told you all about it back then when we were telling you about it. But it's just something like that. I'm just like, yo, that's you're it's like when it's because listen, we're gonna watch Nancy Grace's episode, we're gonna watch the episode where Chris and Katie were on there. Okay. We're going to watch it. Now, does Nancy Grace, there's times that Nancy Grace, Brian Koberger secretly got this girl to call him to come hook up video surveillance. So then he knew that she wouldn't know how to do the password. And he knew that she wasn't going to change the password after he left. And so then he secretly logged in and got on the web cameras through her Wi-Fi. It's like, Nancy, come on, Nancy. Settle down, Nancy. It's the same thing. Doesn't mean they're horrible people. I'm not saying they're horrible people. These people have a lot of knowledge, but at the same time, it's it's the frog with the top hat and the cane. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my Clarentine. Like, hey. Some of these other platforms are like that too. I show up 2 weeks late. I throw a drone in the neighborhood. People get pissed at me. And then I tell everybody, like, I know everything. Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Talk with marbles in my mouth. No, we're not doing it. All right. Here's the Nancy Grace episode when they were on. Let me make sure it's at normal speed too, because we're going back to normal now. There we go.
February 26th, Monday morning, 6 a.m. From everything we can tell, that is the moment that Sebastian's mom and stepdad realize he's gone. For just one moment, imagine that. You go in your child's room where you find your child every single
Yeah, listen, Pam, there's somebody out there that talks like they got marbles in their mouth, and I literally can't understand half the shit that they say. Mr. Third Person, I can't understand half the stuff the dude says. He's got like marbles in his mouth or something. I don't know. Maybe it's the big league chew. I don't know. Something.
school day morning, and you wake them up,
Marbles in the mouth.
but at 6 a.m., he's not there. Can you imagine what must have gone through their minds? First of all, I want you to hear what his bio mom, Katie Proudfoot, says. Listen.
When I woke him up for school, he wasn't there. I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
Can't find him. Where is he? And in the last days, we learned that the official law enforcement search is actually scaling back. This as TikTokers and YouTubers are flooding the area, conducting their own searches.
Yeah, we were there first, and then you had Marble Mouth showing up, pissing off people. This was March 25th, 2024, and I'll go ahead and highlight that. So if anybody has a question, you can see it March 25th, 2024.
Listen to Eric Craddock, Chief Deputy, Sumner County Sheriff's.
Really wanted to come to the community and ask for your help. We need you to search your properties every day, morning and night. If there's a shed or a crawl space or up under your mobile home or a tarp that's in your yard, check it every morning and check it every night. Look for any details that something has been disturbed. If there's a shirt that was there today that wasn't there yesterday, notify us. You can really help us by searching your own property twice a day. Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off, and we really need your help to ensure that he is brought home safely.
There are some people that will not allow you to search their properties still. You think she said that? Here,
First of all, I want you to hear what his bio mom, Katie Proudfoot, says. Listen.
When I woke him up for school, he wasn't there. I took a second and walked through.
When I woke him up for school.
Bio mom, Katie Proudfoot, says. Listen.
When I woke him up for school.
When I went to go, but that is interesting, Yoli. That is interesting. When I woke him up for school.
Bio mom, Katie Proudfoot, says. Listen.
When I woke him up for school, he wasn't there. I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, I can't find him. He said, what do you mean you can't find him? I said, he's not in the house.
Can't find him. Where is he? And in the last days, we learned that the official law enforcement search is actually scaling back. This as TikTokers and YouTubers are flooding the area, conducting their own searches. Listen to Eric Craddock, Chief Deputy, Sumner County Sheriff's.
Really wanted to come to the community and ask for your help. We need you to search your properties every day, morning and night. If there's a shed or a crawl space or up under your mobile home or a tarp that's in your yard, check it every morning and check it every night. Look for any details that something has been disturbed. If there's a shirt that was there today that wasn't there yesterday, notify us. You can really help us by searching your own property twice a day. Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off, and we really need your help to ensure that he is brought home safely.
We are trying to determine what happened when this young boy, an autistic young boy, seemingly walks out of his own home in the middle of the night, we think barefoot. How did that happen? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on SiriusXM 111. We've read a lot online. We've seen a lot of theories, a lot of speculation, but let's start with what we know to be true. Joining me right now, an all-star panel, but first, I'm going to go to two special guests joining us, Katie and Chris Proudfoot. This is Sebastian's biological mother and his stepfather, who were in their home with Sebastian when he goes missing. To both of the Proudfoots, thank you for being with us. I want to go straight back to when Sebastian goes missing. Miss Proudfoot, I understand that the day before, which would have been Sunday, if I've got the information correct, that you guys went out, you went to dinner, you went to somewhere, I believe you said BJ's, where he had a, quote, colossal popcorn. Then you came home that night, and around 9 p.m., you tell Sebastian to go to bed. He says, okay, and goes to his room. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That night, I understand from previous statements you've made that you went to bed around midnight. Is that correct?
It is.
And to you, Mr. Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, did you also go to bed at midnight or before or after?
No, ma'am. We went to bed around the same time because we were on the phone together.
And
He was not home.
please excuse any of my questions. I'm simply trying to find out more about that night. Do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
He wasn't actually in the home at all that weekend.
You were not home.
No,
okay.
ma'am.
So where were you, Mr. Proudfoot?
I was in Memphis, Tennessee.
How far away is that?
3 hours and 37 minutes from doorstep to doorstep.
And what were you doing in Memphis?
Working.
Where do you work?
I'm currently working, or was working, at the St. Jude Children's Hospital construction project.
Yes, I'm very familiar with St. Jude's. You said you were working there. Are you no longer working there?
Right now, that's up in the air.
Well, you've been gone ever since Sebastian went missing. So I understand. When you are home, do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a 3-bedroom home?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is your room as it relates to Sebastian's room?
It's on the opposite end of the house. The master bedroom's on one side, and the other 2 bedrooms are on the other side of the house.
Okay, so your master bedroom is on one side of the house and Sebastian's room is on the other side of the house. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you have a 3rd bedroom that I believe you keep for your other daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that Faith? Is your other daughter named Faith?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So where is Faith's bedroom as it relates to Sebastian's bedroom?
It's in the back side of the house. Sebastian's bedroom is
So
on the
it's-
front side of the house.
Okay. So his bedroom is away from Faith's bedroom and away from your master bedroom. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Sebastian's room on a top floor or a ground level?
We have a ranch style house. It's a 1.5 story. So everything's flat, and then you have the bonus room above the garage.
Okay. So his is on ground floor, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That morning, was there any sign of a break-in through a window, a front door, a back door, a sliding glass door, anything at all?
No, ma'am.
Okay. No sign of forced entry. Was anything taken from the home at all?
Not that we could find anything. We couldn't find anything missing.
I want to circle back to Sebastian's shoes regarding if anything was missing. Do you have a burglar alarm?
No, ma'am.
Do you have a Ring doorbell cam?
That's been one of the big flags to me. You work for a security company. I'm sorry, I get discounts. I'm going to have the best shit. Just saying, in that neighborhood. Come on now.
Okay. Have the two of you taken a polygraph?
I have.
I have not.
Would you be willing to?
I've offered and volunteered on many occasions to take a polygraph, and I was told directly by law enforcement because of my whereabouts, I did not need one.
I understand. Ms. Proudfoot, did you pass your polygraph?
I did.
Those questions out of the way. Was Faith in the home when Sebastian went missing?
No, ma'am.
Does anyone else have a key to your home beside your immediate family?
No.
No, ma'am.
And somebody is out there talking about how does he get out of the back door or a door? How does he get out of a door and it be locked behind him? It's called keypad. You hit the button, it has a lock. I know some people don't have one, but if you do, you know what I'm talking about. You hit the lock button when you're leaving, do you not? When you're outside of the house on the keypad, do you not hit the lock button? At the same time, have I been a parent where I was told, yeah, I locked the door, Dad, and then later I find out, no, it wasn't locked? Yes, I have. Come on now.
That night, Miss Proudfoot, at midnight when you went to bed, what did you do until midnight?
I had been reading a chapter that I needed to, and I had been talking to my husband on the phone. I was falling asleep on him, so that's when he told me it was around midnight. He told me to go ahead and put the dogs up and go to bed.
Right? See what I'm saying? I told you guys, falling asleep on the couch. That's why he was on the phone, to keep her up. Hey, are you awake? Yes, I'm here. Hey, wake up, wake up. Oh, gosh, okay. Sorry, I nodded off. The thump could have been the back door shutting. Could have been. Fall asleep on the couch. Think the back door is the back door locked? Yes, Mom. Okay. And like I said, people creeping through the dark neighborhood backyards, touching door handles to see which one will turn. You just got to jiggle it a little bit. See which one will turn or not. Hello. And then if you got people following you around, different businesses, you don't think they're going to check the back door? You like I said, do I think any of them had anything to do with the crime itself? I don't. Do I think there were mistakes that they made that allowed an abduction to take place? Yes. Video games and not checking the back door.
When you went to bed, what did you do until midnight?
I had been...
And let me get this real quick. Breezy contribution call out. Thank you so much. $9.99 super chat. I was a recruiter for ADT and still have my alarm and cameras up to this day. Listen, if you work at Burger King, you get discounts on chicken nuggets. Come on. You work at Burger King and you get discounts on chicken nuggets, man. Thank you so much for your contribution. Appreciate it so much. Please hit the like for Breezy as well. You get a discount at Burger King when you work there too. You're going to take advantage of it. Come on. Middle to upper class neighborhood, barely any lighting. Let's get real.
Reading a chapter that I needed to, and I had been talking to my husband on the phone. I was falling asleep on him, so that's when he told me it was around midnight. He told me to go ahead and put the dogs up and go to bed, and that's what I did. I got up, put the dogs where they sleep, and then I myself went to bed.
Where do they sleep?
They have a big pen.
A pen, is it inside or outside?
Inside.
Inside. That reminds me of another question. Do you guys have a motion sensor light or lights on the outside of your house?
Yes, we do have lights on the outside of our house.
Did they activate that night?
They're not motion censored. We have lights.
Were they on that night?
No,
okay.
ma'am.
Were they on that night? So the lights were out the whole night?
Yes, ma'am. We don't typically turn the floodlights on.
Were there any lights outside the house on at all?
Just my little solar lights that we have in the garden.
There's two lights on the side of the house above the garage that are on at all times.
Yeah, Nancy's sitting there going, okay. 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 Contribution call out Slim Shady 82. I work at BK and I get a manager discount for $10, but I have a clip from the same interview if you want to take it. Yeah, do me a favor, send it to me, evilcj@gmail.com, or you can find me evilcj on any of the social platforms except TikTok. TikTok is just so damn toxic. I don't even mess with that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't even mess with it. Oh, no. Yes. Merry Christmas to you guys if I don't see you until after the holidays. Please be safe too and enjoy the time with your loved ones and give them hugs and kisses because you never know.
Oh, yeah, those are on.
Oh, there's a light above the garage. It's on at all times?
There's two. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So those lights were on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because I heard you say earlier, Mr. Proudfoot, that your neighbors have been very, very forthcoming with their Ring camera info. And I was trying to determine if any lights were on, what, if anything, they may have caught. But I understand from your previous interviews that nothing of any evidentiary value was caught. And also, in another statement you gave, I understand that the video of the two flashlights, and I'm saying that with air quotes, that's not exactly what that was at all. We now don't believe that two flashlights were observed around your home. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're very correct.
Okay. Question regarding your vehicles. Ms. Proudfoot, what make and model do you drive?
I drive a Infinity SUV.
Year?
2017.
And sir, what do you drive?
I drive a diesel truck, Chevrolet.
Year?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's a 2021, I think.
So your Infinity SUV was parked in the garage or outside the garage that night, Ms. Proudfoot?
In the garage.
In the garage. And Mr. Proudfoot, your vehicle was on location in Memphis. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So there's only one car at the home. Is that right?
There was actually a work vehicle in the driveway at the time as well, but it hasn't moved we can't give out that information because we don't have permission from her work.
I don't understand that. What?
About the make and model of the vehicle.
I have a work van that was also parked in the driveway.
Why is that? If it's out in the driveway where people can see it, why is that privileged information?
We just don't have permission from her company to divulge that information.
Have you?
She's like, what? She's like, what? Nancy. She's like, what? Whole bunch of Brinks vehicles there. Whole bunch. Whole bunch. What's up, Gromby? She's like, Nancy's like, what?
Have you asked?
No, ma'am, we have not. Nobody's asked us that.
So that
question,
was
to be honest with you.
okay. So you have a work van. Question to you, Miss Proudfoot, what do you do for a living?
I am an installation technician.
That night, was the work van blocking your driveway? Could someone go in and out of your driveway?
The van is parked at the back of my driveway, so someone can pull in, yes.
Got it. Do you park your Infinity SUV in the garage or outside the garage?
In the garage.
In the garage. Do you have an automatic garage door?
With the clicker.
Right. Do you leave that up or down at night?
Down.
Could anybody lift it up? Like, is there an on and off button outside, or do you have to know a code or have the clicker to open it?
You'd have to know the code or have the clicker.
Does Sebastian know the code?
Not to the garage door, but to the man doors.
Not to the garage door, but to the house doors?
The regular door, yes.
So is there a code to get in your home, or do you use a regular key?
There's a code.
And he knows that code?
Yes, ma'am.
When they tell you there's a code, there's a lock button on that keypad. So when people are like, I don't know how he even walked out the door and locked it. Anybody can lock it because anybody can hit the button. All you have to do is look up a picture of a keypad and you'll see there is a lock button on it.
Question. I'm just trying to figure out how he would have gotten out, or if somebody came into the home. Could they have gotten through the garage door? No, unless they know the code or had the clicker, which they did not. Do you lock your doors at night?
Yes, ma'am.
Could he have left on his own through those doors?
He could, yes, ma'am.
But I heard in another interview where Mr. Proudfoot said he was not a, quote, wanderer. He didn't wander around. He had never left the home before on his own. Is that right?
Correct. We haven't had issues with him running or taking off in the past.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions regarding the doors. Do you have any home surveillance, anything at all that would have given us an idea or a clue if the door had been opened or not, or a window?
Not directly from our house.
Well, then from where?
That's what we were hoping, that neighborhood Ring cameras and may have picked something up.
Gotcha. I want to go back to that night. You said you were up till midnight. You were reading something. What were you reading?
A chapter for school.
A chapter for school. Are you in school?
I was, yes, ma'am. I've since dropped my classes for the time.
What are you studying?
Business administration.
Gotcha. Where do you go to school?
DeVry.
So that night you go to bed at midnight after you've been talking to Mr. Proudfoot on the phone. You put
That's
the
a good
dogs
score.
away in a cage, a crate inside the home, and you go to bed. Did you check on Sebastian at that time?
I did not.
Okay. Do you normally?
Not typically. Since he's gotten older, I've not been checking on him as frequently throughout the night because normally he's good to go in his room once he goes to bed.
Earlier, you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
A thud. You stated that you said,
Looks down to the right. Looks down to the right when asked what time. Watch.
Checking on him as frequently throughout the night because normally he's
Watch.
good to go in his room once he goes to bed.
earlier you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around
Looks down to the right.
he's good to go in his room once he goes to bed.
Earlier you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Just a thud.
Now look straight at the
A
camera.
thud. You stated that you said, look, I don't care what you're doing in there. Go to bed. Is that right?
I was on the couch, which is near his room, and I said, Bubba, did you fall out of the bed? And he said, no, ma'am. And I said, well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep.
So you heard his voice at 10 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what the sound actually was?
I do not know.
If he were to go out his window, what would he step on?
Mulch and bushes.
Did you say mulch or mush?
Mulch.
Mulch.
Mulch. Okay. Got it. Has he ever gone out the window before?
No, ma'am.
Is his room on the front of the house or the back of the house?
Front.
Front. Do any of your neighbors' ring cams point toward your house? Could they pick that up?
They do, but it's so dark that they can only see it. After it gets so dark at night, they can only see certain things where there's light.
I thought there were the two lights on
the opposite side of the house.
Okay. Can we talk about Sebastian's shoes? Why are you convinced Sebastian left without shoes on? Or are you?
Well, the reason that came about is because all of his shoes are accounted for inside the house still.
Are you positive?
I'm positive.
How do you know what clothes he was wearing?
The clothes that we described are the ones I saw him in when he went to bed.
That morning, you woke up at 6 o'clock. Is that the normal time you wake up?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a heavy sleeper?
Off and on.
Do you take any medication at night that would make you sleep?
No, ma'am.
What?
But you heard nothing.
What?
I did not know.
So we know he is.
Well, she shouldn't have. She should have ended the question with without the little addition, because then somebody can be like, "No, I didn't take any medication that makes me go to sleep, but I did take some medication that makes me drowsy."
No, ma'am.
But you heard nothing.
I did not know.
Should have asked her differently.
So we know he is alive and well at 10 p.m. At 6 a.m. He's gone. You say he's never left before. Is that right?
Correct. He's never run off before.
And could I confirm, where was his bio dad at the time he went missing?
I believe he was at work in Nashville.
Had there been any family argument or altercation prior to him going missing?
No, ma'am.
And Mr. Proudfoot, when did you leave town?
Early February.
So you had been gone for days before he went missing. Is that correct?
Correct, ma'am.
Had you visited home since you?
Wasn't early February the CPS thing? I wonder if that was part of the. Listen, you can't be in the same household until we figure this out. Is that what it was? You can't be in this household until we figure it out. That's not going to cause some fights. That's not. I mean, what? That's what I thought.
You left?
I haven't watched this. You guys know I haven't watched it since March 25th or 26th.
You said from when I initially left?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I came home February 26th, the morning I was told that he was missing.
From the time that you left for the job in Memphis to February 26th, did you visit the home?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
I was home. I can't give exact dates. Law enforcement has told me not to provide exact dates, but I had been home multiple times prior to February. And then I left early February, and then didn't come back till February 26th, the morning he was missing.
February 5th. February 5th to the 26th. I was there multiple times before February. I'm sure you were. I mean, you're the stepdad, right? You should have been there every damn night, no? Unless your work didn't allow for it or something. But normally when you're married and you have a family, 5th to the 26th.
So you were not home from the time you left early February till Feb 26. Is that right?
Correct, ma'am.
Where were you living in Memphis?
I have an RV trailer that I stay in at an RV park.
RV park. Okay. Following back up on that morning, you search the home, Ms. Proudfoot. Then you get in your vehicle and you start searching. Did Sebastian know how to drive?
No, ma'am.
Was your car in the same location when you woke up that morning as it was the night before?
Yes, ma'am.
Has your car been searched by police?
Multiple times. Yes, ma'am.
Have scent dogs looked at your car?
Yes, ma'am.
So your car's in the same place. You get in the car, you start looking in the neighborhood for him. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you call Mr. Proudfoot, right?
I believe I was already on the phone with him at that point.
Okay. Question. Who called 911?
I did.
You did.
Yes,
what
ma'am.
Time?
Without looking at a call log, I can't give you the exact time, but on or about 6:20.
And had you guys been talking on the phone before 6 a.m. or did you initially call Mr. Proudfoot at the time you realized Sebastian was gone?
I called him when I realized Sebastian was gone.
Have you guys been out looking for Sebastian?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We were given information that you guys have left the home. Is that true?
Who else is there? Somebody was messing in a container or something. Who else? Whoa, hold on. You can hear somebody messing with the container. Hold on, let me like somebody's writing it down or something. Shoot, my pen ran out of ink. Listen.
Call Mr. Prophet at the time you realized Sebastian was gone.
Listen.
I called him when I realized Sebastian was gone.
Have you guys been out looking for Sebastian?
Listen to that. Listen.
Yes, ma'am.
We were given information that you guys have left the home.
Yeah, they're sitting in an RV, but who in the F is... You can hear somebody ruffling through a container or a drawer or something.
Have you guys been out looking for Sebastian?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We were given information that you guys have left the home. Is that...
And then he moves his right arm like he was what? Hold on a minute. You guys hear it now? No, this is not dogs. This is somebody digging through a container or a drawer, and then they hand him something. Watch the right side of his body.
Call Mr. Prophet at the time you realized Sebastian was gone.
I called him when I realized Sebastian was gone.
Have you guys been out looking for Sebastian?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We were given information that you guys have left the home. Is that...
See how he moved his right arm? As soon as the noise is done, he's handed something. What the heck? I never noticed this.
Have you guys been out looking for Sebastian?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We were given information that you guys have left the home. Is that
Gave him
true?
something. Gave him something. Okay. Interesting. I never noticed that before. We'll get it back to normal here. Interesting.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I'm going back to work.
You're going back to work. What about you, Miss Prophet?
And I'm not going back to work. Not yet, at least.
Did you leave the home also, Miss Proudfoot?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
To accompany my husband going back to work, and then I'm coming back.
Okay, when will you be back? Do you know yet?
No, not yet.
Are you concerned about being away while the search is ongoing?
Absolutely, I am.
Then why are you going?
Because my son could be anywhere, and we're looking everywhere and anywhere.
I've got a question for you.
Yes,
I want to find out about Mr. Proudfoot hitting Sebastian with a belt. What happened?
That was actually several years ago, and it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot.
one-
To Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Proudfoot, what happened?
Whoa.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you would ask it.
Whoa. Hold on.
Several years ago, and it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot.
one-
To Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Proudfoot, what happened?
Woo.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you would ask it, Katie. Sebastian had gotten in trouble. He got caught lying, and I had asked him
Several
"Hey,
years ago.
you got to have a punishment for this." He says, "Yes, sir." And I said, "Okay." So I gave him a swat with a belt on his buttocks on the outside of his clothes. One swat.
What did he lie about?
Honestly, I don't remember at the time, but it was probably something dealing with school because that's majority where his issues lie.
Man, I'd remember.
Did he have other issues at school?
I never had to beat mine. Never had to beat mine, never had to shit. We would sit down and have conversations. And I would use my own life experiences and general common sense to have discussions. We talked about it, we communicated, we reflected, we used empathy. I never had. Was there times? Of course. And that's an autistic child, too, y'all. Like, what the hell, man? Several years ago, several years ago, several years ago, but yet I couldn't be around the house from February 5th to the 26th.
Dealing with school, because that's majority where his issues lie.
Wow.
Did he have other issues at school?
Communication with your kids is all it takes.
Some
y'all.
behavioral stuff, but nothing too crazy.
What kind of behavioral stuff?
Communication. That's it.
He has a hard time. He's like awkwardly socially like blending in with students, so it's a little. He's trying to figure out how to do it, but respecting people's space. He gets a little too close, and then kids don't really accept that too much, so it kind of causes an issue. But he'll not stop, and he continues on. So then it causes an issue, and instead of being honest about it, he'll lie like, "No, I didn't." Okay, Sebastian.
Or lying about doing.
Was that the first time? Was that the first time you had ever hit him with a belt?
Yes, ma'am. The one and only time, actually.
Which is it, recently or several years ago? Because she says several years ago. That was several years ago.
Home. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I'm going back to work.
You're going back to work. What about you, Miss Proudfoot?
And I'm not going back to work. Not yet, at least.
Did you leave the home also, Miss Proudfoot?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
To accompany my husband going back to work, and then I'm coming back.
Okay. When will you be back? Do you know yet?
No, not yet.
Are you concerned about being away while the search is ongoing?
Absolutely, I am.
Then why are you going?
Because my son could be anywhere, and we're looking everywhere and anywhere.
In Memphis.
I've got a question for you.
In Memphis.
I want to find out about Mr. Proudfoot hitting Sebastian with a belt. What happened?
That was actually several years ago, and it
To
was.
Mr.
That was actually several years ago. Was it recent or several years ago? Because it only happened once, one time only.
Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Proudfoot, what happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. I thought you were asking Katie. Sebastian had gotten in trouble. He got caught lying. And I had asked him, I said, "Hey, you got to have a punishment for this." He says, "Yes, sir." And I said, "Okay." So I gave him a swat with a belt on his buttocks on the outside of his clothes. One swat.
What did he lie about?
I honestly don't remember at the time, but it was probably something dealing with school, because that's majority where his issues lie.
Did he have other issues at school?
some behavioral stuff, but nothing too crazy.
What kind of behavioral stuff?
He has a hard time. He's like awkwardly socially like blending in with students. So it's a little, he's trying to figure out how to do it, but respecting people's space. He gets a little too close. And then kids don't really accept that too much. So it kind of causes an issue. But he'll not stop and he continues on. So then it causes an issue. And instead of being honest about it, he'll lie like, no, I didn't. Okay, Sebastian.
We're lying about doing
Was that the first time? Was that the first time you had ever hit him with a belt?
Yes, ma'am. The one and only time, actually.
When was this?
Years ago, ma'am.
Any idea how many? 3, 10, 1?
It probably at least 3 years ago.
I don't understand how that turned into a CPS or Child Protective Services complaint. How were they alerted that you hit him with a belt?
That did not turn into a CPS service call.
There were other CPS reports, right? Were they regarding your other child?
There is one in regards to my daughter that I know of out in New Mexico with my ex-wife and myself.
What happened?
At the time, my ex-wife had fled to New Mexico with my daughter. We're going through a custody and a divorce case at that time. And at the time, when I'd call and try to check in on my daughter, I could never reach my ex-wife at that time. So a welfare check was requested. Law enforcement told me to call CPS if I had concerns. So I called CPS. Law enforcement did make a welfare call, and that was it.
Then how does that turn into a CPS complaint against you?
I have no idea, ma'am. There's a lot of misinformation out there right now in regards to my New Mexico case that actually has no relevance to the Sebastian case.
Then was there even a CPS complaint against you in New Mexico?
Not that I am aware of. And my attorney and myself have well educated on my case, and there's nothing that we know of.
Was there a TRO taken out against you regarding
Yes, ma'am.
your daughter?
Not a TRO, but a TPO.
A temporary protective order. Why was that taken out?
So in regards to that case, my ex-wife had a TPO put against her in Tennessee at the time. When we went to court, that got dissolved. I was ordered to hand my daughter back over to my ex-wife at the time. She gets in a truck. She fleds to New Mexico. 2 days later, she files one in retaliation.
Is it still in place?
No, ma'am. That was dropped within, I think, 2 weeks of it being put in place.
I've got a question about the belt incident. You're telling me that was the only time that you ever hit Sebastian with a belt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're also telling me that did not make it to CPS?
No, ma'am, that did not.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding Faith's furniture.
Yes,
a few
ma'am.
days after Sebastian goes missing, did you replace furniture in Faith's room?
No, ma'am, I have not replaced any furniture in my daughter's room.
Is there any new furniture in the home?
Yes, ma'am, there's a bed that was given to me and it's currently in my garage.
Has anything been taken out of the home?
No, ma'am.
I was curious about a statement that Miss Proudfoot made earlier that canine dogs hit on the barn around the home and near a retention pond? Did that happen?
I'm not sure about the barn, but the retention pond, yes.
Because law enforcement says the dogs did not hit. But Miss
There's been
Proudfoot says they did hit around the retention pond.
So there's been a lot of miscommunication in regards to what is and what is not. To help clear that up, law enforcement has actually spoken directly with me, showed me a few things. What I can tell you is from day one, there was 5 dogs that started the scent for the search. And then after that, from the next 8 days out from that.
Yeah, from day one, there was frickin' neighbors out there walking with the canines and the handlers and not allowing the canines to properly do what they're supposed to be able to do because the people that were handling them didn't handle them right because they allowed a whole bunch of distractions to take place from day one.
That there have been dogs from all over the country that have come in and done searches and had scent hits in various locations.
False.
But I would say
we were down there finishing up our work for Riley Strain and heard about the false dirt pile dog hit. False.
A certain percentage of them tend to go toward the same spot, which would have been a retention pond.
So the law enforcement dogs did not hit on the retention pond. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying they did. There was at least 3 that I know for a fact that did hit on the retention pond.
And the pond has been drained, correct? And there was nothing there.
Yes, ma'am. They have walked it, drained it, and there's nothing. The retention pond was only knee deep anyways.
On one occasion, Mr. Proudfoot, you stated that you and Mrs. Proudfoot have been, quote, vetted and cleared of foul play. That was stated on Chronicles of Olivia. Is that true? What do you mean by that?
Yes. So after working with law enforcement of all agencies, they have actually told us that there is no foul play, no nefarious issues. We've been cleared of all wrongdoing. We are working extremely cooperative with all law enforcement agencies.
Cleared of all wrongdoing? What the fuck does that mean? Hold on a minute. What?
Nefarious issues. We've been cleared of all wrongdoing.
We've been cleared of all wrongdoing. That's odd. I thought he just walked out the door. Nobody did anything wrong. What do you mean? What? Cleared of all wrongdoing. Huh.
We are working extremely cooperative with all law enforcement agencies. At any point in time that they've called, come to the house, anything.
Was Sebastian angry or upset before he disappeared?
No, ma'am.
Not to my knowledge.
What is your theory about where is Sebastian?
I wish I knew where he was, to be honest.
Your theory.
I think it's possible that someone has my son.
Why?
Because I feel like if he had been close to the house or had walked off, that we would found him by now with as many people as we had searching.
Have you checked his social media?
He doesn't have social media.
Have you checked his phone?
His phone has been thoroughly checked, yes, ma'am.
Have you handed your phones to police, both of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, we have.
Has police searched all of your devices, your laptop, your iPad, everything?
Everything. Yes, ma'am.
Other than you, Miss Proudfoot, who is the last person that saw or heard Sebastian alive the Sunday before he went missing?
Two of his aunts, a cousin, and the staff where we had dinner.
And that was at BJ's the night before or the bowling alley?
So BJ's, and then we went to the bowling alley, and then after the bowling alley, we went to dinner before coming home.
I want to follow up again on the dogs hitting. Earlier, Ms. Proudfoot had stated the dogs hit around the house, the barn, and at the retention pond. Is that correct?
I don't know about the barn, but I do know that they did track to the pond, yes.
Did the dogs also hit around the house?
Yes, ma'am.
On the outside of the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Were they scent dogs or cadaver dogs?
With all the neighbors searching
They
right
brought
next
in,
to him?
both
Come on now.
cadaver and tracking dogs.
Which dog hit? A cadaver dog or a scent dog?
Scent dog.
It's all been scent dogs that have hit. The cadaver dogs have not hit on anything that we know of.
What do you believe Sebastian was wearing when he disappeared? And would that have been what he slept in?
Yes. So the clothes, the black sweatpants with the white stripes and the long sleeve black shirt, that is what he went to bed in. And the reason that I believe he was still wearing those clothes is because when we searched, I did not find those clothes in the house. So I have to assume that that's what he was still wearing.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Did you say that's what he wore when he went to bed?
Yes, ma'am.
Joining us right now, in addition to Katie Proudfoot and Chris Proudfoot, the bio mom and stepdad of Sebastian, an all-star panel. First to Brian Trasher joining us, Vice President of the Cajun Navy, who has joined the search. Brian, thank you for being.
Oh my God, I gotta skip this part. I'm sorry.
Enforcement has stated there were no canine hits outside the home, which I find very, very disturbing. Because if he had gone outside, particularly barefoot, there would definitely have been a scent trail. Now we're hearing from the Proudfoots that there was a hit around that retention pond. How far is that pond from your home, Mr. Proudfoot?
Less than probably half a mile if you walk the whole path.
Is it through wooded area? Would he have had to walk through the woods to get there?
No, ma'am. You can actually walk either the main road or the subdivision. So the construction site is a subdivision, new addition that's being built, and they have a road that's going to be tied into our subdivision. So you could actually walk up that way, or you could walk to the main road and walk into it.
Did Sebastian ever sleepwalk?
No, ma'am.
So he would have had to leave the house undetected by Katie and walk all the way to that retention pond. Did the dogs follow the trail a half a mile?
Yes, ma'am.
They followed the trail all the way to that retention pond?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That's very curious, as they are saying the dogs didn't pick anything up. Back to you, Brian Trasher. Did you guys search anywhere other than that federal property where the false positive was? Yes, no?
No.
Joining me is Courtney Lasky, high-profile behavior analyst, autism expert, chief clinical officer with Little Starts Therapy. Courtney, thank you for being with us. At this juncture, we know Sebastian to be most likely with people he doesn't know, if in fact he is still alive. How would that affect a young boy with autism?
It would affect
him greatly. Based on the diagnosis of autism, we know that they typically have deficits with communication, social skills, and they display some rigid and repetitive behaviors. If, in fact, he is with someone else who does not know him well, that would be entirely out of his routine. He could be engaging in behaviors he hasn't engaged in before. He could be looking for an escape. He could be looking to get out of those aversive situations. We know that not every autistic individual will wander, but those who do wander, 36%, it's to get out of an aversive situation. It's to get away from something that's overwhelming or overstimulating to them.
Ms. Proudfoot, does he know your phone number? Can he call you if he could get access to a phone?
We have gone over my phone number. I don't know that in a high stress time he would remember it, but yes, I have taught him my phone number.
Was he ever allowed to go visit friends' homes?
He didn't get invited, but had he been, yes, we have had play dates in the past.
Would he go there on foot?
No, ma'am.
Joining me now is Lauren Conlon, investigative journalist, host of the Outlier podcast, host of Corruption, What Happened to Grant Solomon. And you can find her at laurenconlon.com. Lauren, thank you so much for being with us. What can you tell me about that stretch of road, if anything, between Sebastian's home and that retention pond?
Well, look, Nancy, I mean, I think like everything else about this case.
All right, I'm going to skip this because this is the lady that was on Pascal. When Pascal had a show about CP, this is not a threat. I was the only one searching in Hendersonville at the time, and he basically put a target on my back, and she was doubling down on it like I was trespassing people's property. We're going to skip her too.
Us. Former law enforcement, now faculty, St. Leo University, very well-known psychologist and author of Operation SOS. You can find
Sorry, when people don't do their own homework, I just don't have time for him anymore.
him at drjory.com. Dr. Jory, thank you for being with us. Many people have made much of the fact that when interviewed, the Proudfoots do not look at the camera, they look away, they don't cry, and they don't seem upset. Now, that may or may not mean anything. People can be very upset, crying, screaming, cursing. They may show no emotion at all. They may be numb by the time interviews are happening. I'm very different. When I talk about my fiance's murder or I talk about my dad's death, I still cry, even when I swear I'm not going to. But everyone reacts differently. I'm going to throw this directly to Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot. Much has been made. I'll ask you. You very often look away, don't look at who's asking you questions, show no emotion. Much has been made of that. And I'd like to hear your response. I'm not judging one way or the other. I'd like to hear your response.
So the fact of not looking at the camera all the time is because a picture of my son is sitting beside me, and I'm looking at him. As far as the crying thing, I have been crying off and on nonstop for a month.
Many people have asked me, why did Miss Proudfoot not call 911 immediately? And here's your chance to answer that.
Because by the time I realized my son was missing and I called my husband, at that point I was hysterical. I was at the point where I couldn't even form words anymore, and my husband is the one who remained calm enough to call them.
And to be honest with you, Miss Grace, the way we live outside of city limits, so you don't call 911 because you get routed to a dispatching hub who asks what's your location, and then they route you to another dispatcher to talk to give this story. I cut all of that out and I called straight to the sheriff's department because they have jurisdiction of where we live. So sorry that I decided to bypass a few steps and go straight to the source, where they responded within 10 minutes of the phone call being made.
Miss Proudfoot, that evening, were you drinking?
No, ma'am.
Had you used any type of drug at all, even OTC, over the counter?
No, ma'am.
And you had no argument with Sebastian that night?
No, ma'am.
You stated you put the dogs away into a crate before you went to bed. Is the crate located near the exit, near a door?
No, ma'am.
Would the dogs have barked if there had been an intruder or if Sebastian had left?
The dogs don't typically bark at me and Sebastian because they're used to us. Even if we get up, we come around, they don't typically bark. Strangers, they do tend to bark, at least for a minute or two to get attention. But no, ma'am, they don't typically bark at Sebastian and myself or Christopher.
What kind of dogs are they?
Morkies.
Question, where is their crate located?
In the area near my sunroom.
Over by
in
the kitchen.
Your son's, okay, hold on. Is
No,
it
son,
outside your
son.
son's room?
No, ma'am, not
Sunroom.
Sebastian's room. Son, yeah, yes, ma'am.
The sunroom. And that's not near the door?
No, ma'am.
Not near the front door.
It's near my back door, but not any of the other doors.
Yes, from what I've seen the layout of the home, it is near the back door, and they would have heard someone coming in and out that back door, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No barking. Do you have a chime or anything on your doors that would alert you to the door opening?
No, ma'am.
Miss Grace, could I jump
Question.
in for something?
Yes, please. And I want to follow up with a question
Yes.
regarding Miss.
All right, let's skip both of those. Yada yada. Let's go back to the meat and potatoes.
That's just me. I want to go back to Katie Proudfoot. This is Sebastian's biological mother, Miss Proudfoot. What questions were you asked during your polygraph?
I was asked if I knew where my son was. I was asked if I hurt him. I was asked if I had hurt someone, among a few other questions.
And Mr. Proudfoot, you have volunteered to take a poly?
Yes, ma'am.
If I were to set up a poly for you, would you take it?
Name the place and time, ma'am. I'll be there.
And you're headed back to Memphis right now. Are you in your RV right now?
I am in my RV. We are not disclosing our current location just because of safety reasons, due to the YouTubers, the Facebookers out there that have sent some very heinous, threatening information and things of that nature, threatened to be outside of our house, all kinds of nasty things. So we're not disclosing our location at this time, unless you're law
Ms.
enforcement.
Proudfoot, is
or
that
you need to
one
know.
of the reasons you left the home?
One of them, yes, ma'am.
Question to you guys. When police came in and processed your home, did they look with, for instance, luminol? Did they check? What did they do when they searched your home?
They thoroughly searched my home with many different things. They removed some things for the dogs to hold the scent, and for Sebastian's DNA. I know that they used thermal
Good night, hide and seek.
night imagery.
night vision, thank you. And I don't know exactly all of the tools that they use, but I do know that multiple different searches were done on my home by many different people, detectives, sheriffs, and a few others.
Yeah,
Even
I'm
the
not gonna.
dogs.
I wouldn't swear that the forensics folks showed up or not, because there were so many folks in and out of the house that it was just, "Hi, I'm so and so with law enforcement. I'm so and so with law enforcement." Okay.
Every time they've said we need to look, or please do.
Does Sebastian have a hardwood floor or a carpeted floor?
In his bedroom,
Carpet.
Yes. carpeting?
Carpet.
Did they remove any carpeting?
No,
No,
ma'am.
Do you feel confident they searched his bathroom?
They did.
Yes, ma'am, they did.
When you state that they removed items for the scent dogs, what did they take?
Clothing, a blanket that he used like every day, and a few other items of his, toiletries, like his brush.
Lauren Collin joining us, investigative journalist. Lauren, again, thank you for being with us. And earlier you were hearing sound from WSMV4. I understand you have another question.
Oh, I mean, I guess I didn't quite get the clarity I wanted in the sense that from a YouTuber that they found something that the cadaver dog, or I'm sorry, the search dog started jumping, or, you know, were you just kind of blind to all of this? Just, you know, over in your corner doing your search.
No, ma'am. So here, to set that record straight and help the United Cajun Navy. So somebody's got a picture out there saying that we are enjoying a dinner when we're actually out there, got flyers at a dinner table because we need to eat. My wife was on the phone with the Cajun Navy. That's how the Cajun Navy was brought in. And we talked to the president of the United Cajun Navy. He put us in touch with their team that was here locally in Nashville. Then that young lady reached back out to us, gave us some more information. We gave her some more details. Then they said they would start a search, but we also had them get in direct contact with the TBI agent as well as Sumter County's Sheriff's Department. We provided all that information. They reached out to them, got some information. They pushed outside of the areas that had been searched already, conducted a search. Somehow or another, they linked up with the bio father who supposedly got a tip from somewhere. Whether or not it was credible or not, we don't know. But it led them to searching on federal property without permission, which is where we have been informed at some point that there was allegedly a hit on something, but turned out to be nothing. And they were asked to leave the property immediately or the cops were going to be called because it was trespassing based off of a tip that the bio father received.
Yeah, to Brian Trasher, VP of Cajun Navy, let's clear it up. Isn't it true this is on federal property that had been closed off? It was a hurricane site earlier. It was also, yes, thank you. And it was also near railroad tracks, and some homeless people had been living there, and apparently one of them had died. And we believe that is what the dogs were hitting on. Is that correct?
Yeah, all the above is correct. And we did not gain access to the property. It had already been open when we got there. I'm not sure how entry was gained, but yeah, everything above it that you just said was correct.
Guys, the search for Sebastian goes on. If you have information, if you know or think you know anything about this beautiful, young, autistic boy, please call TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, 800-TBI, FIND, T Tennessee, B Bureau, I, Investigative, TBI, FIND, 1-800-TBI, FIND. That's 800-824-3463. Please join us in the search for Sebastian and lift up your prayers. This boy will be found. Goodbye, friend.
Here's the link to that episode again. Thank you, Slim Shady, for pointing that stuff out. Appreciate it. I think Slim said, here's the link for it. I think Slim said that it was at like 4 minutes and something. Listen with earbuds if you're able to. Definitely do that. I think I'm going to be doing a show tomorrow. I'm not sure. There's some stuff I got to finish up around here. And I don't know. We might be doing a show tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. Probably. There's going to be more to talk about. Also, if I don't see you until after the holidays, have a Merry Christmas. Please be safe. enjoy the time with your loved ones. If you're going to be bored, I'm sure we'll be, I do plan on being online for most of Christmas. If anybody is bored, you're more than welcome to come hang out. I'll be doing shows here and at the lounge, different shows, and we're going to be doing some fun stuff. So I want to say thank you all. Appreciate it. Get that Santa tracker out for the kiddos. Please be safe. Love y'all. Thank you all for being here. And we will see you on the next show. Appreciate you guys so much.
Okay over there? Is your victim at the hospital? Someone shot there. Alright, do you see that?